Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm good. Do we have any sound in the chat room? I'm not hearing any sound.
Let's see what's going on with the chat room here.
I see that the mic's on, but I don't hear any sound.
Yeah, let's turn on and back off. We'll do this. We'll get out of it completely and we'll come back in. Over on YouTube, you should be perfectly fine like you always are. You guys give me no trouble. You guys are good. You guys are awesome. So for that, we appreciate you very, very much. Just come in. It just works. Our members are a little bit needy over here. Just kidding. Just kidding. We love you guys. I'm not only saying that because they can't hear me yet. But they should be able to hear me now. Good morning, guys. Just saying how much we love you guys so much. And you guys are always working here. Excellent. Okay, perfect. We're good to go. All right, Peter, good morning, man. How are you today?
Yeah, look, much better than I have in the previous days. I actually went for a run today. Had to shake off my despair from Sunday's run, so felt good. But man, it is cold again. Sorry, I seem to give you guys a weather report every morning, but it was like cold and windy. It honestly felt like the last days of fall, right, as winter's about to strike, not spring. So, anyways, whatever. I can't wait to get to the south of France. I'm hoping the weather's supposed to be a lot better there.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to that. Friends, quick look at our gappers list this morning. Man, the madness in Brian's words, the humanity on the tech sector, Nvidia, AMD, even MU's not on here. I saw MU down. But man, what some action yesterday coming off here after hours that we're going to get all into once we get to this gappers list in a bit here. But before we do that, we'll go over our gap up, which we got a couple of, looks like gold stuff and silver. AG silver. Man, did I get that right? If I did. I did. First Majestic Silver. Okay, I'm not really good with these gold and silver tickers. But yeah, I got that one. We'll get into those and see what's happening. BCTX up 44%. That's exciting. We'll see what that low flow is up to and if there's any opportunities there. And then we'll dive into what's gapping down, a majority of the tech stock. But before we do that, Peter, take us through our U.S. economic calendar for this beautiful Wednesday.
Yeah, so we do have some interesting things happening today. We got earnings. We'll talk about those later. But on the economic calendar, we had a couple of events that have just happened and a few more to come. Let's start with those that happened. Retail sales just came out, and I'm struggling to get the numbers here. Here we go. Retail sales came out actually a little stronger than expected. 1.4 was the delivered number, percent growth versus 1.3 forecast. And the retail sales, core retail sales or retail sales without autos, depending how you want to look at it, came out at 0.5% versus 0.4. So that's good, I guess. That's good. I mean, usually the market, I don't see that much of a reaction from the market in relation to these numbers. Let's see. Yeah, market's not really doing that much. Later this morning, we have capacity utilization, industrial production at 10. We have business inventories and the home builder confidence index. The key thing I wanted to make sure I got on my list is at 1:30, Powell is speaking, and that usually has the biggest market impact. So I see with Powell speaking at 1:30, now I've got different times here, 1:15 to 1:30, sometime around there. My different sources are giving me a different time here. So whatever that time is, he's speaking this afternoon. That seems to be confirmed. And I expect the market to react. Absolutely. I mean, it's just been so tumultuous with tariff activity and, of course, things coming out of the current administration that you've got to think Powell is going to not purposely stir things up, but I feel that it's almost impossible for him to make any comments without having some impact. Now, what we typically see is the reaction is short term, right? We see moves strongly in one direction and then a retracement of that. So that could be what we see, but you really got to be aware of the 115 to probably about 2:15 time frame if you're actively trading at that point in time because of those moves, or frankly, if you want to take advantage of those moves and jump into a trade. So yeah, I think that's the key event for today, is that Powell speech happening sometime between 1:15 and 1:30 is when it's supposed to start. So all right, so keep that in mind. Other than that, I said the other economic calendar data is the pretty, common, typical stuff, which I don't expect to move the market. What we do have is earnings, which are continuing. We had the banks already come out. We've got some airlines to talk about. We have some tariff news. There's a bunch of stuff affecting the things on our gappers list and others that I'll make sure that you're aware of. So let's get right to it.
All right, excellent, Peter. Yeah, let's get right to it, friends. Then our gappers list is right over here. We'll start with what's gapping up this morning. First thing on deck, BCTX. BCTX, we'll dive right into that and see how we're doing here. So this stock is up almost 40%. Let me see. Pre-market action doesn't look all that great. Let's check the daily. Yeah, daily looks a little bit messy, as you would expect on a low flow ticker. Again, I don't see anything exciting on this one. So I will most definitely will leave this alone. It looks like the fun might also be over as I look at this 5-minute chart here. It looks like the fun might be coming to an end here. So doesn't look great, Peter. Not sure if it's any news worth talking about, but not looking good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a biotech called BriaCell out of Canada, and they are curing cancer, or at least they're trying to. They're trying to cure breast cancer. They have released phase 2 data for a study that has very positive results on treating breast cancer tumors. And as a result, they're jumping up. So it's increased survivability and the impact of these tumors, and therefore, BCTX is reaping some of the results, the rewards, I guess, on their stock price. Like you said, Carlos, hard to know what it's going to do. The ticker feels familiar, but frankly, I can't really remember having traded it. It is a very low float. We're only talking about 3.5 million shares roughly in the float. So, you've got to treat this as a high risk, low float today if you want to trade it.
Yeah, agreed. Again, I personally do not like this one, man. It just looks very messy, so I'm going to leave this one alone. Let's take a look at the next one. Next two is silver, and then we have gold there. AG is one of them. Again, normally these tickers for me, intraday trading, are just not my thing. So I skip right through them. But if you're into some of the stuff, they're popping up this morning. AG is up 5%, and I see gold is also up. GOD is also up 3.6. So Peter, again, not something I usually put on my watch list, but these are active, as they have been over the last couple of days, even last week, with all the movement in the markets, the pops and drops. These things have been very active, as you see here.
Yes, well, silver and gold prices are both up 2% this morning. That increase in the value of the commodities is what's causing some of the related tickers to move. You have to keep in mind AG and gold, they're just individual companies. They've just snagged the strong tickers, right? AG is First Majestic Silver, and gold is Ashanti. No, it's Barrick. Sorry, Barrick Gold. So yeah, they're just specific companies. I honestly think there's sometimes confusion on that. People think they're trading the commodity instead of a company, but it doesn't really matter. Like you said, unfortunately, you can trade the commodity, but that tends to be a longer term type play. And the stocks, the mining stocks, don't typically day trade very well.
Yeah, they really don't. Leave those alone. And that kind of covers our gap up list. I do see SNY sneaking its way in here. Sanofi, which again, we've seen plenty of times, but they don't trade very well. Like I usually look at them and they're just horrible intraday trading ticker.
Yeah, it's a dual traded, so that's definitely going to have an impact. You can usually tell by looking at the daily, right? When you get a lot of gaps in the candles, it really means that the North American market is just catching up with the European markets that it primarily trades. This is a French drug company. They're not, I don't know, nothing to report here. It's not worth the trading we're talking about.
Yeah, this looks horrible. What's up with the 5-minute too? What's going on here? This looks very ugly. I never seen something that bad. So, all right, we'll move on. Let's take a look at give the garbage truck on that one. The next one on here, AMD. So AMD this morning, again, with plenty of the semis, AMD, Nvidia, MU. If you take a look at our trading terminal gappers list this morning, these guys are leading the way down. And normally you don't see all of them here back to back, but today it's all about tech companies and chips and getting some not so great news. So AMD down 7%, as you can see here, 1.6 million. Nvidia is down 7%. The nice drop yesterday, you can see it here, going from 112 all the way down to, I believe they hit 105, and this morning as low as 104. We're looking to retest that now. And then we have also MU as well reacting to this news. Peter, what's the latest? Maybe not so greatest, but what's the latest?
Well, the administration has announced further tightening of the tariff or the export restrictions, I suppose it is in this case, on chips. Specifically, NVIDIA's H20 and AMD's MI308 chips were mentioned, which are some of their top-line AI-focused chips. And NVIDIA very quickly responded yesterday by coming out and saying they are going to take a $5.5 billion hit, I guess, basically a charge, an impairment charge due to their inability to export chips to some committed customers, which they had included in their forecasts. And as a result, this entire sector. So we're seeing AMD, Nvidia, Intel, Micron, Broadcom, they're all dropping this morning, all because of this news, which affects the entire sector. Nvidia is taking the front, it's really at the forefront of this, I guess, because they came out with that big impairment number very quickly. It feels like they had that ready and they were just waiting for the opportunity to release it. That being said, they're not the biggest. They don't have the biggest drop. Like AMD is actually down 7% versus Nvidia down just under 7%. And the rest of the chip stocks are down anywhere between 2.5% and 5%. So it's having an impact on the entire sector. So look, these trade wars are continuing, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. I mean, China has been, China's indicated very recently, last night, I guess, or it was yesterday afternoon, that they are willing to negotiate. However, they have some requests or some requirements of the Trump administration, including, that they're asking that they rein in disparaging remarks by members of the cabinet, and that they appoint somebody who actually will be able to speak on behalf of Trump and require the administration to adhere to whatever they agree to. Two asks that have been challenging for this administration. So we'll see what comes of it. And it's the type of request, frankly, that China often makes, which creates more rhetoric. So I don't know where this is going to go, frankly, but it's sort of interesting that we're now playing. I mean, we are deep into this game of chicken. We were talking about this yesterday, and this is really they're not just revving the trucks anymore. Like they've started them, and they're a couple hundred yards apart, and they're starting to speed up towards each other. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like it's getting ugly.
Dangerous and scary. Dangerous and scary.
Yeah,
Peter, have you ever played?
exactly.
Have you ever played chicken before? Have you ever played that game at all?
I have, and
okay.
It never.
Did you move over? Did you move over? No. You kept going?
Oh yeah, it was on a bicycle, and
okay. That's still bad.
We smashed right into each other. Neither one of us was giving up.
Yeah.
We were not giving up.
I have played it in a car, unfortunately. Back my stupid young days. And the other guy, my good friend, I'm like, he is so crazy. I moved over. He is so insane. I moved over. I'm like, he's not gonna move over. I know it. Guy's wild. Good crazy times. All right. Let's take a look here, guys. Good stupid times probably, but it was a lot of fun. All right, Nvidia, obviously all these on deck this morning. My favorite two out of the whole chip thing going on here is going to be Nvidia and AMD.
It's fun when we purposely do things.
What was that?
Anyways. It's fun when we purposely do things. You make me think of my youth. There was a point in time when I was a young business guy. I was having a really, really bad day. And anyways, coming out of my office, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story.
Yeah, let's do it.
I purposely got into an accident. I actually hit a car on purpose. And there was I was coming out of my office, and there's this place where there's a bus lane and the right turn lane, and these taxis all the time cut you off. And I was not having it
Pissing
that
you
day.
off.
And I'd already worked 12 hours, and I had to go to the venue to settle with this band, and I hated the tour manager, and it was just not something I wanted to do. And I had my little shitty Toyota Tercel, and this taxi just cut me off, and I just said screw it. And it was a manual. Anyways, I put it in gear, and I rammed him. I rammed I rammed the back of his taxi, and he got out and he was screaming, and I just got right in his face. And it was one of those where I'm thinking back and I'm like, it was not smart, but I'm like, you want to call the cops? Let's call the cops. We'll see who's in the wrong. He was certain I was a crazy guy, and he was right in that moment. I was a crazy guy, and he just drove off. And I carried that dent in my car for the next like 4 years that I owned the thing. Never fixed it. Because it was an old Toyota Tercel, right? The thing was made of like solid iron. Like I gotta say
they don't make them like that anymore, Tercel. Man. I'll tell you.
That thing was it just didn't do anything super well, but it just did it like a typical Toyota, right? It just did it.
These things just work, man. My dad had a Chevy Caprice, one of the big ones, the boxy ones. And I remember we're in a stop sign, and a guy with a nice Jeep hits us from behind. And, man, his bumper and everything just fell apart. Our car was just not a scratch on it. I don't make them like that anymore. Now everything is plastic. All right, guys, that is our rant. Well, that's Peter's rant, which is a co-starting on that one. And hopefully you enjoy that one. All right. Mike, I had some crazy times. Mike is saying I'm crazy, but it was wild, man. I've done some things. I'm like, who was that person? But we changed.
We started by talking semis here anyways, and I was talking about Game of Chicken. I'll just mention one on semis. One that had earnings this morning was ASML, not one of the semiconductors we normally look at, but ASML Holdings, smaller semiconductor. They had their earnings this morning and beat their numbers, top and bottom line. They did issue like a lot of companies, they did issue a tariff warning, a warning on profits and downstream earnings based on tariff uncertainty. So very typical of what a lot of companies are doing right now. We're going to talk about a company that didn't follow the typical path. That'll be interesting as we get to the airlines here, and we're going to talk United, but we'll wait and see. It's we sort of skipped over it. It's a gap up, but let's go through the gap down, and then we'll move on.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so we did cover all the gap up. We're now in the gap down, which seems to be growing a little bit. It was only AMD and some of the semis on here, but now you got some other ones, like SMCI, Hood, QBTS. So a lot of the other, if you notice, is besides Hood, is all tech. Is all tech on here, just getting body slammed this morning. So this should be a lot of fun. And just remember, like yesterday, while we were talking about this, yesterday I mentioned, if you missed it, it was a great example of everything gapping up, everything green, and for the most part, we had some really good sell-offs, right? So just tells you that you never could tell based on what's happening, what's going to take place. Actually, that was Monday. We had that great example. So far on my list, AMD and Nvidia. Let's take a look at SMCI. I know you guys love this one. The daily does look somewhat interesting. You could see we had a little bit of consolidation here, and now the drop below 33. So that's interesting. I like this one, man. It can trade very well. I think with the news today, we can see some action out of it. What's your thoughts, Peter, with the news happening today as well?
You're absolutely right. We could see some movement after it. I mean, I think it'll move like the rest of the semis. They're all in play today. Pick your favorite and let's go, baby. It's I think it's game on here for the semis. That doesn't mean necessarily, by the way, that they're going to continue going down, right? Like anything could happen. We already have this big gap. I mean, this is a pretty big gap down between 5 and 7% here this morning. So we could very well see a little bit of support. I don't know what to expect. This is totally uncharted territory, as we keep saying. So it's, who knows? But in play, 100%. So, yeah. Pick the one you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like this one. I do want to leave some space for other things that are not tech, but I don't think that's going to be the case today. So I'm going to put this one just on my secondary list, and let's see what else we can find. That's not that's in a different sector, but I think AMD, Nvidia, SMCI are probably going to look very similar today. So we'll take a look in a second here. All right, let's skip on down over to Hood. So Hood is down this morning 4.2. They got 4.3 million shares traded, and the drop started happening last night. Could have been with the news here, because right around this area is when we got the Nvidia news. So I'm not sure how this affects them, Peter. Do they have anything else going on maybe on their own this morning?
You know, Hood's a very interesting stock. You know, it's not always a great trader, but it's very interesting because it straddles so many different industries, right? Because you know, they're are they a bank? Are they a broker? Are they a crypto company? They're all three, really. And there's a lot of difference of opinion as to how well positioned they are in this type of market. I don't know. I'm not sure what to believe. There's those that are, you know, declaring that Hood is dead and it's time to short. There's others that say I'm all in and buying. I was watching Alpha. What was it? Anyways, I can't remember what I was reading now from. But from Seeking Alpha, and they say like we're all in, man. We think Hood is going to the moon. Look, Bitcoin prices have been fairly stable over the last little while, right? Hovering between about $82,000 and $84,000. That's right now it's sitting at $83,911 for a Bitcoin, which you know stabilizes that part of the business. The banks have reported good earnings, which is good news on the backdrop for Hood. You know, sort of getting swept up in that part of their portfolio. And, you know, of course, we have to remember that they are, like the rest of the market, you know, concerned about downturns, which may cause people to have less disposable income and less investment capital, which could be problematic. That being said, they actually have some cash reserves and can withstand this market turmoil at this point. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of it, but you know they're tradable. They certainly get price action on occasion. It is one of those stocks though you have to watch like a long time for the few moments of trading opportunity. So you know just don't. I don't know. It's one of those I like to put sort of on a secondary list. I actually keep it on another screen just in case it's like it's its moment. But it takes a lot of watching for the few opportunities. Unlike again, like a Tesla or an Nvidia, where they're like the opportunities are just so much more frequent. So I like it, not as much as some others.
Yeah, same here, man. I like this one, so I'm gonna put it. I might put it on the main today because I feel like, although the list looks long, again, it's a lot of tech stuff. So maybe this one can shine on its own today. I'm gonna put it on the main list for now. We can always move it up or down depending on what we see. So next level, what a game. Yeah, we were crazy. Thinking about going back, thinking about you, Peter, hitting that taxi cab, which I think is, man, we all been there. I don't think there's anybody that has not been there when you're coming down to the traffic light and the light turns basically green for you, and the person thinks that they can make the turn right in front of you. Like they don't see the light's green, right? They don't see you coming at the speed, and they feel they can make the turn. I tell you, for the times that I wanted to just keep the speed up and just boom, just hit them right in the trunk is unreal. But yeah, we got to be nice, law-abiding citizens. All right, let's see here. I feel Nvidia might not sell off. We don't know, man. We don't know. It is in play for sure. Yeah.
Do you want a driving joke? I got a driving.
Let's do it, Peter. We got time. Let's do it. I love this.
Yeah, the guy's
I feel
coming
good
home
today,
from a
man.
bar.
Everything you asked me for is going to be a yes. I feel great today. Let's do it.
All right, perfect. Guy coming home from a bar one night with his buddy, and buddy didn't have anything to drink. Said, "I'll drive you home," and he says, "Great." So he gives him directions, and they head off. And he comes up to a red light, and he said, "Oh, it's late at night. Just drive it right through." And the guy's like, "I can't drive it right. Just go through the red light. My brother does it all the time. Goes through the red light. Comes up to the next red light. Just drive right through. My brother does it all the time." Comes up to the red light. You know, and he drives right through, and then he comes up to the third light, and it's a green light, and the guy slams on the brakes. He's like, "What are you doing?" He said, "What if your brother's coming the other way?"
Very nice.
There you go.
I like it. That's very true. His brother does it all the time. He's paying attention. Good things, man. Good things. All right, guys. Was that a dad joke or no, guys? Thoughts on YouTube and on our chat. I think that was a good one. I don't think that was a dad one. The dad one usually leaves me shaking my head.
100% a dad joke in there. So
Okay.
there you go.
Good, good, good.
I've always got the dad jokes ready. They're here for you.
They're on
Thanks,
deck,
JJ.
man. They're
Oh,
on deck.
JJ, that makes me happy. Look at that. That's the man club. There's a series of commercials. I know I'm all over the place today, but both Carlos and I are feeling good. There's a series. Have you seen? In Canada, we've got Wiser's, which is a whiskey, a Canadian whiskey, and they've got excellent, excellent commercials. If you ever want to look up some good
Yeah.
commercials, like they just have these great, great commercials where they have like this distinguished looking guy that sits in a chair, and the commercials, like this guy's walking through the mall and his wife says, "Oh, look at that beautiful dress, I'm just going to go check it out. Here, hold my purse." And she hands the husband the purse, and he holds the purse like it's a bomb, and then he pulls a plastic bag out of his pocket and puts the purse in the pocket in the bag, so he's not seen holding the purse. And then it's just this distinguished guy in a chair with a couple of guys around him, and they just slow clap him. Right, well
Like,
done. Well
good
done.
move.
So, like, there's a whole
Oh,
bunch
we
of
all been
different
there.
scenarios like
Yeah.
that. I love those ads because it's just like it's such a guy thing. It's like, yeah, well done, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very nice.
That
Very
deserves
nice.
a Wisers. Anyways,
There's some good marketing out there, man. I like good
there is.
marketing. I enjoy it, and that's great marketing. There's the one with the T-shirts too, where it's like, Brian, what T-shirt are you wearing? It's like, why can't you be more like him? And it's the same guy, and they're wearing the T-shirt. You see it on YouTube all the time. I don't know if it's tuck it or
those are
not,
the,
but those are
those
funny, man. And you can tell you have a good commercial when you watch, like instead of hitting skip on YouTube, you watch the whole commercial, and they go to the end like, hey, why are you still here? Click the button, go by.
actually,
It's
I
good
think
marketing.
my wife bought me some of those shirts. They're called
Yeah.
True something, True Fit, True. I can't remember what they are.
Yeah,
But
True
anyway,
Fit or
whatever.
something. Great marketing. Great
Anyways.
marketing. All right, well, we're going to market to you next is here. It's going to be tradingterminal.com. We're going to look at this gappers list right on here. And we covered some of the top stuff already. You can get the same exact list over at tradingterminal.com, completely free. So go over there. Here we have QBTS, NES, and some of the Rigetti Spaghetti's type tickers, which is Quantum. Again, also in the tech world, taking a hit as well. So let's look at RGTI, which is usually one that gets the most volume. RGTI this morning, not great volume in the pre-market though, only 400,000. So that's that kind of caught me off guard. I thought I would have seen more today. Let's take a look at QBTS. Same thing, only 568,000. So they're not really having this overwhelming volume given what's going on. They're down, but they're not really showing anything drastic here. So I'm going to leave them alone, Peter. I assume this is all because of the techs and chips can somewhat affect them as well. I don't think they're really heavily in play. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, they don't seem to be in play. Really, I think it's just a sympathy move with the semiconductor sector, which is the primary focus here with the chip restrictions. So, yeah, I would avoid these for now. I just don't think they're probably your best bets.
Yeah, I'm going to leave these two alone for today. I think we'll find better things to look at. Heading back down here, we did talk about Mara and Bitcoin a little bit. I do have Hood on deck. Mara is also on here as well. And then towards the bottom of the list, if you take a look here, we do have some big names. We have Intel, Tesla, Google, and Meta. So a couple of our magnificent seven down there. Tesla, of course, is always on our list, guys. This just trades so well. Still stuck within this range over the last, this is going to be the 5 day of trading so far. Excuse me. So still stuck. Where's my Epic Pen? Why is it not working? There it is. It's still stuck between this range here, and again, towards the bottom of that range now, even for the morning range. So could be interesting. So Tesla will be on the list today. Peter, anything new out of the Tesla camp this morning?
Nothing really new for Tesla. I mean, they continue to not benefit from the tariff policies and what's happening with the administration. So you notice, have you noticed how quiet Elon's been recently? Like totally backed off all the Doge activity. Like we're just talking tariffs in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed. And what's Doge? They're still doing things, I assume. I don't know whether I should be frightened or what, the fact that it's gone very quiet. Last we heard of Elon, he was actually doing his CEO Tesla work and was in Italy a week ago, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, sort of talking almost against the administration. So yeah, it's I'm not sure. I don't know what to make of it all. Other than I feel like Elon sort of said I got to take a step back here and not risk Tesla in its entirety. So which has been it's good. I mean, look at the stock price. Look at how it's sort of settled over this last week, and really sort of got into the very quiet range. So I think there's going to be more movement from Tesla. But yeah, and at the moment it's fairly quiet. There have been some talk in the Mag 7 stocks. We were looking at some of them yesterday, Carlos. We were looking at Google at the open, the trade well. We were looking at Amazon, and we were looking at Netflix, which is one we were also talking about into the close. It's interesting to me that Netflix, we were sort of saying how it's almost become a safety stock. Like, what kind of world are we in where Netflix is the safety stock? But the analysts' impressions are that Netflix actually is fairly secure because the way they've now built their service models, even if people say, well, I want to save money and downgrade from the no commercial to the commercial model, they actually make more money the more people that watch the commercials. So it doesn't hurt them at all. In fact, it could benefit their revenue stream. And as people decide to spend less on things outside of the house, they're more likely to spend continue with their memberships to some of the streaming services, forefront of which of course is Netflix. So I mean, look at the price. It's actually gone up in the last couple of days and held out very well despite all the market downturn. So interesting. I mean, it's not as easy to trade just because it's a higher price and it's got a little bit lower volume, but it is interesting, especially if you're a swing trader, I think at this level. So we'll see what Netflix does.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely see. I know they got their earnings coming up tomorrow after hours. We're actually going to be live for that. So make sure if you're on YouTube and not subscribe so you can get notified when we go live for that. All right, so out of these, I mean, let's take a look at Google. We were just talking about that one, right? So let's see how that looks for today. You need some oil on that thing, Peter. What's going on? Do that again?
Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, sounds like my father's caprice.
I was checking it out because Red says that I was breaking up. I was just checking my mic settings. I don't know if I'm breaking up for anybody else, but
no, you sound good. I think it's when you turn. If you turn, and same thing happens to me. If you turn away from the microphone, it's just it doesn't catch it. But if you sound great.
I'm just so excited today. All over the place, waving my arms.
I understand 100%.
Telling jokes.
Stay in front of the mic.
All right. Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Okay. WD-40. Marcin says you need some of that thing. Awesome.
But it's entertaining. What would you guys talk about if I?
Yeah. Where else can you get a squeaky sound like that? So it's classic. All right.
I know when I need it.
Yeah. So today for and Netflix again tomorrow. Reminder: we're gonna be live for that for those earnings. I don't know how well they trade though. Intraday trading. I'm not sure. So they won't be on my list today, but they could be a little bit tougher to actually trade. So back to Google here. If we look at Google here this morning, we are down 2.1, 651,000 shares traded. I got asked the question, what do I think about this one? It's one of my least favorite tickers to trade when it comes to the Mag 7. Now, they can put in some days here where they do trade very well when they have news. Lately, we've been seeing some better action out of them. But I gotta tell you, man, they're not my favorite to trade. Usually, when and this funny thing, when they're doing well, when they're trading well, almost everything else is. Like, I prefer Amazon over Google when it comes to day trading. So, so between Google and Meta, these two can be very difficult to trade. Meta is also on here as well. We're down 2%, very light volume, which is okay for Meta. That's typically what they do. And it just makes me want to look at Microsoft as well. Again, not a whole lot of volume, down 1.2 this morning. So, pick your favorites. I could see Google sitting on a secondary for us today in case they have some kind of action. But it won't be on my main list. So Google on the secondary. What I do want to have on the list, Peter, is Amazon. Amazon has been treating us actually pretty well. There was a day last week where they traded amazing, a couple of days actually. We didn't take advantage of it, but lately they've been on it, man. They've been trading really, really nice. So right now, pre-market looks pretty dead. They're not going to give you a whole lot into the market open, but I am going to add this to my list this morning. So Amazon will be on there today. All right, that kind of covers our. Let's take a look here. Our gappers list, Peter. Anything else you like that maybe we haven't talked about today?
Yeah, earnings from the close yesterday. United Airlines, UAL, United Airlines had earnings after the close yesterday. They did okay in the quarter. They were pretty much right on target with revenue. They delivered 13.21 billion versus an expectations of about 13.26. So that's close enough that we'll say they hit revenue. And they did do good on earnings. They delivered a 91 cents a share versus a consensus estimate of 76 cents a share. So that's good. What's interesting and different about United is that a lot of companies have been saying recently that they're pulling their guidance because of tariff uncertainty. United chose not to do that. They actually said they see strong bookings in the short term, and they're going to hold to their earnings estimate for the full year of about 11 and a half to 13 and a half dollars per share earnings total for the year. However, if the economy goes into a recession, then they're going to reduce that to $7 to $9. So they've actually given, it's sort of interesting how they've given sort of a scenario based where they said, like, well, if we hit a recession, then we're only going to deliver $7. If we don't, we could do $13.50 at the top end. So very big range there, and a little unusual for a company to give conditional guidance based on that. And of course, what exactly, who gets to define what the recession is. And they've really given themselves a lot of latitude in my mind to go anywhere between 7 and 13. So interesting. Anyways, United is actually gapping up this morning, up about 6%, not moving a lot pre-market with only 440,000 shares, but might be worth keeping an eye on, because I do think it's going to get some play after the opening bell rings. So we'll see what it does. As you can see here in the daily, it's sitting at a good inflection point at the high end of this range, and it's actually one of the ones that has also done very well despite the recent market downturn. So overall, if you zoom out on United, they're down significantly from the highs where they were over $110, but they certainly have held up well in the month of April. So I think might be interesting. We'll see if we get any action on United. Other than that, I think we talked about everything else that I wanted to mention. The Magnificent Seven, again, all in play. Semiconductors, I think, our main focus industry for today. And that's pretty much what I got, Carlos.
Yeah, I actually like that from United. Giving two scenarios, like they did not take the easy way out, just pulling their forecast. They did some homework. So shout out to them for doing that. We don't usually see that. The easy way is, hey, we're going to pull our forecast. We need more time to see what it's going to look like in a couple of weeks or months, whatever. So they went the other way. Good job for them. All right, my list so far, guys, we have Nvidia, AMD, Hood, Tesla, and Amazon. Secondary list, SMCI and Google on deck so far. Let's take a look at what you guys like this morning. Again, as Peter mentioned, same thing for me, heavy on the semis today and some of the tech stuff on here. I think that is where the volume and the story is going to be at today. But what else do you guys have that maybe we haven't not had a chance to look at yet? Amazon is good. We have that one. What else, friends? Baba.
I mean, I saw PLTR. PLTR
of course. How can we not? How can we not look at PLTR?
Good trader.
Yeah. I
good
do
day
see
yesterday for PLTR, by the way.
Yeah, actually, let me pull it up since we're talking about that now. PLTR. Yeah, PLTR could be so explosive. I mean, it can trade so bad. It has like its bad moments even within the price action. Like if you look at this 5-minute charts, right, it can go pretty nasty for a while. Then you get the breakout. But yesterday, very, very clean. Just took off. Man, Andrew is up. Good morning, Andrew. He's like waking up earlier every day. Every time I look, it's earlier and earlier and earlier. He's going to be coming in before we even start the show. Man, good stuff. I know he's working on he's doing his new thing, man. Shout out to him. All right, so good morning, Andrew, in chat here. Yeah, PLTR, man, it could be so explosive and it could be so bad at the same time. But I do like this ticker. It is a lot of fun to watch. It is great to see the explosiveness that you can get out of it. So I will add it to my list, Peter. So I do like that one. Another one that was being mentioned was Baba. So if we take a look at Baba here, they don't have great volume, but I do like how they're gapping down here 3.2 just with 1 million shares traded. Yesterday we had tons of volume and we did almost nothing. Well, I can't say we did almost nothing. We did have a nice little drop here. But for the most part, today could be interesting. I don't think they belong on the main list. I will have them on the secondary. And again, most people will not have this on their list, but I love Baba. It has treated me so well in the past. So any chance I get to put it on my list, I'm going to put it. on there, and we just did that now. So there it is. What else we have going on? JD, let's see, JD. No, it's pretty much similar to what Baba is doing. So normally these two kind of not move together, but they tend to do the same thing a little bit because they're both in the same sector usually. I prefer Baba over JD though. Baba usually gets the better volume unless JD has specific catalysts that they're driving the volume. Then I really watch them. But for the most part, I think Chinese related, Baba is a great one to look at. So I'm gonna be having that one on deck. I did see another one up here. Sumati Krishan, you gave us bull. Yeah, I won't watch this. It's just entertainment purposes now. You can't short it on SSR. I mean, it's just messy, you know. So if you want to watch it for fun and see the halts and see all that good stuff, great. But the volume is kind of dying down now, and again, I just don't think it's tradable. It is fun to watch though, but just be very careful as far as trading goes. Hood, I do have on my list. It's on my primary, so that one is good today. It says not looking so good right now. Yeah, they usually wait for the market open. Wait for them to get the volume. They get great volume already at 4.1 million shares traded, and they could look pretty good once the bell rings here. All right, we are set.
Harvey,
good. Yeah.
Harvey's mentioning rare earth stocks. We were looking at the ETF REMX, which is Rare Earth Metals Index. Yeah, you know, REMX, it's an ETF to trade the rare, because rare earth metals had got some focus with announcements again out of the White House that they're going to put an increased focus on some homegrown sources of rare earth metals, since so many of them come out of Chinese mining endeavors. Excuse me, pardon me. Ooh, that caught me by surprise. Harder to trade. Like it could be a good investment opportunity, maybe a good swing trade. Hard to day trade. So I would just be cautious with any of them, whether it's the index or individual stocks. Like we said, mining is typically difficult. They're usually just a little volatile and tough to manage your risk on a very short term basis.
Yeah, I agree. The other one we were looking at was TMC. If you guys remember that one, also again just not great. All right, I think we're set, Peter. Anything else before we head over to announcements?
Nope.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, let's head over to announcement. Before we do that, we have a little skit here that they sent me over. Let's head over to announcements right after this. Excellent, guys. Let's see what's happening for this beautiful Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we need to punch the volume a little bit on that one for next time, Carlos. But yes, P Capital Trading. We've got a new boot camp that'll be starting in just 2 weeks here as we do the second of 3 for the year. It's a great opportunity if you really want to get intensive on your trading learning. Now is like the best time to learn trading. A lot of people get nervous because when you're in a market uncertainty or market downturn, people don't naturally think about jumping into stock trading. But the reality is this type of volatility can give some great days. Look at a lot of our members who have had some record days over the last couple of weeks. And it's a great time to learn. If you really can master this type of market, then frankly, the other markets are a little easier when they're very directional. So it's a great time. Consider it. Go to pcapitaltrading.com. You can get all information on the boot camp. It is very intensive. It's a 3 months. We call it boot camp for a reason. It will kick your butt, but you will learn so much out of it and get a very valuable experience. So hopefully you'll check it out and take advantage. And we've got a special deal that I'll talk to you about in a second where you can get it bundled with our chat room and a funded trading account. So let's talk about that in a minute. For today, it's Wednesday today, and we are more than halfway through this week. Remember, it's a short week. There is no trading on Friday, right? The markets are closed for Good Friday. So we really are on day 3 of 4 of this trading week today. But we're going to continue with our schedule of psychology classes for today. We've got a couple that are happening midday. Avi's going to talk options at 11 a.m. That's always a good session. Avi's, and his Avenacci levels that everybody asks him the same questions all the time. How does he set them? How do they work? He will explain it once again and show you how he trades options. He does it so very profitably and effectively. It's well worth understanding how he takes advantage of that. And then at noon, we've got Dr. Vanessa Charlin. She was a big presenter when we were in Vancouver and an excellent trader. She's very active trading, and she's going to live trade futures with you and talk about her overnight shift strategy and how that works. So sort of a very live and interactive session happening then. And then in the evening, we've got our signature event, which is our psychology webinar that happens at 8 o'clock for our elite members in the webinar room. And that will be, again, Dr. Charlin is going to be taking that over, talking about how to lose the right way. Very important that you need to know how you lose, importantly. I mean, there's books about it, right? Best loser wins. There's a reason for that. If you don't know how to lose properly, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the wins. So it's well worth paying attention to those lessons, both from a technical point of view and especially from a psychological point of view. So those are the big sessions we've got. Next week, we're going to have yet another psychology webinar with Randy Howell taking over and talking about how to unlock the secrets of becoming consistently profitable. So those are all our webinars. Again, if you want to join us, if you want to become an elite member, well, then you need to be a Bear Bull Trading member, and you can do that by joining at bearbulltraders.com. And we have a number of membership options. As I was saying, the best deal right now is this platinum deal where you get the boot camp, that Peak Capital boot camp, lumped in with a 1-year elite membership and a $50,000 funded trading account, which could pay for the whole thing. Truly, if you make money trading that over the term, the 3 months of that funded account term, we will pay you. Anders wants to invest in your development. We really want to see profitable traders. We know that if we can help the community grow and help traders become profitable, it's of benefit to everybody. So take advantage of that if you're interested. The amount you pay for that really just covers the costs of the account itself. Andrew is putting up his own money to pay you for your success. So check it out. That platinum deal is fantastic, and it's really the best way to take advantage of everything. Even if you only are partially interested in the boot camp, it's still a great deal just for the chat room and the funded account itself. So check it out. It's, I said, available. The details are at bearbulltraders.com, or you can go to pcapitaltrading.com to get all the information. Jeremiah is asking if I update to platinum but postpone the start of the boot camp. Absolutely. If you bought it now, you don't have to take this boot camp. You could take the next one, which starts in September. So we only have 3 a year. The one that starts in May is our second of the year, and then the third one starts in September. So yeah, you absolutely can. You can even delay the start of your membership to Bear Bull Traders if you want to take advantage of it. Like if you got an existing membership, this would actually start at the end of it, so you wouldn't lose any time. Or you could say, you know what, I don't want to start it for a little while. All of those are options. Our team can help you with that. So good question. All right, Carlos, we've only got 10 minutes to the market open. Let's set some levels quickly, then I can let people know what our moderators are watching, and let's get ready for what I hope is going to be a fantastic open.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Peter. All right, let's jump to it, friends. So my list right now, Nvidia, AMD, Hood, Tesla, and Amazon. Let's start with our good buddy Nvidia today. So going to remove some of our older levels. We keep dropping here. New low is 104.21. It's the low of the pre-market. That was earlier today when the market opened. The market pre-session open. So here we are again, just dropping lower and lower. The high is all the way to 107, and as you can see here above that, we do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days on Nvidia. So looking pretty good there. The next thing is going to be, excuse me, right here. The next one is going to be towards the bottom. Actually, the next thing towards the bottom here, we do want to mark down 99.58. And again, we've been pretty low on this thing. We've been as low as 86 just a few days ago, guys. So this is not, this thing has been all over the place. We do have another level at 101.49. I think looks great. And that's pretty much for Nvidia. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun with this one, hopefully. Next on the list is AMD, another tech company that's hurting from the news of chips being restricted into China. 90.45 is a good one there. The bottom, the low of the pre-market, 87.83. So we'll slam one there. And then towards the top, again, highs and lows doing a pretty good job. We're going to see that a lot across the board when we get to our highs and lows here, just because the way great things have been trading. Towards the bottom here, we are going to mark down 85.02, and then right over here we do have a minor area at around 87.8. That is AMD. Again, towards the top, you're pretty set, as we're going to see in a lot of these. Hood is another one I have on here. Again, doesn't look great pre-market. Towards the top, you're pretty set there. High of the pre-market, 42.88, and then towards the bottom, we do have a low of the pre-market at 41.21. If we drop lower, just in case we do flush here, there is a minor level at 39.73. The big level is this one here. You have a lot going on in that area, 37.08. You can put it a little bit higher because it is an area. You can put 37.52. You have a lot of days slamming into that on a hood. So we'll see something different on the list just in case we get something going here. Next is going to be Tesla. Tesla this morning, again, always fun to watch. I'm going to remove some of the older levels we have here. High of the pre-market for Tesla is going to be 250.85. Towards the bottom, the low is going to be down at 244.83. And then you can see that's the big level we have. Is huge support on Tesla. Was resistance before, so it's going to be interesting coming off the market open into these levels. Below that, the next one is going to be 239.81, and just in case we do have 234.24. Towards the top, you're covered, and as we've been talking about, Tesla just kind of still within this range, at the bottom of the range for the last couple of days. Let's see what it does today. Should be a lot of fun. Last but not least, I'm adding this one to my rotation. Amazon has been just trading really well, has a lot of great intraday trading action. I love the pre-market 175.63 towards the top. Don't make it messy. You don't need to add anything. Everything looks really good up there. Highs and lows for the last two trading days, previous day close. I mean, you name it. You got a bunch of levels on there. Don't need to add anything else. Towards the bottom, 170.94. Looking really nice, and then you're set on Amazon, so let's hope for a nice clean trading day. Volume should come in after the market opens. So all right, that is what we have, friends. Peter's gonna let you know what our team is watching, and Andrew and Brian live in the chat. They'll be on in just a second here. Over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. If you're getting value, definitely let us know.
Yes, indeed, and our moderators are getting their lists in right now. So starting with, I almost was going to say starting with Andrew, but no, he's sort of middle of the pack there. But still, in early, we love it. Lenny is going to be watching Nvidia, AMD, MU, PLTR, Tesla, United, Google, Lyft. My God, he's got everything on this list. We didn't talk about Lyft, by the way. They did have some news as they made an acquisition in Europe, as they're getting more serious about the European market. But I'm not sure that Lyft is a tough trader. So Thor is going to be watching Apple and PLTR, keeping it much tighter. Mike is watching the tech sector overall, and of course scanners, as he does every day. Avi is watching AMD, Tesla, and Nvidia. Nathan's going to be watching AMD, PLTR, and the Magnificent Seven type stocks. Andrew is going to be watching Tesla, Nvidia, SMCI, and AMD. Makes sense there. Big focus on semis for most people. Jared is going to be watching the dips on chips, so also watching the semiconductor sector and PLTR. Brian's got Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, PLTR, Apple, and the market overall on deck. Phil's going to be watching Nvidia, Tesla, and Apple. Pierre, Apple, Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, and PLTR. Megan, always watching, tight couple of stocks with Nvidia, PLTR, and Apple. And I've got my list. I think I'll be watching just my normal tech stocks, and you can see Carlos's list at the bottom of the screen. So there you go, everybody. That's what we've got. We got 5 minutes to this market open. There's my alarm right on cue, and I think it's time to get ready. We got some bright sunlight. It's a good-looking day happening with a good-looking fellow there in Vancouver. So good morning, Andrew. I hope your day's going well. We'll hand over to him in the chat room, and Carlos, you and I keep this day going here as we head towards this open.
Yep, absolutely, guys. We'll disconnect from chat. We'll be live now on YouTube. Okay, I got Andrew on my ear. Let's mute Andrew, and we are good to go. All right, friends, excellent. 5 minute, 1 minute charts getting set up here. I'm going to bring in our different screens, and we're going to get this rocking and rolling. Excited for today, man. Should be a fun day. Should be.
Nvidia just bounced off the pre-market low that it set around 4 a.m. this morning. Interesting price action here. I think Nvidia is absolutely in play, but predicting which way it's going to go at the open is tough. We'll see. I'm hoping for a move up to the VWAP currently, which would put us up to about 105.20-ish. We get up there, and then I see a lot of hesitation. I might consider a short, sort of a rising devil type trade. But again, got to see that setup. Apple's also been dropping heavy here pre-market. It's also sort of down, well, not quite as low, but towards that very early morning low that it set around 4 a.m. So we'll see what this market brings today. I don't know what to expect. I mean, the market indices, the SPY and the Q's down about 1.5 to 1.8%. Feels like we're feeling weak today, but Carlos, how many times have we been here where we started with the market moving down, and next thing we know, everything's rallying.
We had that Monday, right? Monday was the opposite. Everything was gapped up nicely, and we ended with everything selling off. We had actually a couple of good short trades. So just got to play the price action. Can't stress it enough. I don't want to say don't have a bias. I'd rather call it, you can have a thesis of what you think is likely to happen when the market does this, right? But your thesis could be wrong, right? Just understand that and be quickly to know when your thesis is wrong. And, don't let it hinder your trading. That's what it comes down to.
And that's a good definition of terms, right? There's a big difference between having a thesis and a bias, right? Like a thesis means based on what I'm seeing, here's what I think might potentially happen. I'm going to watch and see if that plays out or if the signals continue to give me that outcome. Whereas a bias is, notwithstanding the income or the evidence, or if I'm just ignoring the evidence, this is what I think is going to happen. And that's problematic. Right, because that's where you can make trades that sort of go against your own best interest and go against maybe the technical signals that you're receiving. So
and it blinds you towards the opposite of what you need to be looking for, right? So like you only are searching for things that are going to confirm what your bias is, right? So you just without knowing even block the stuff. Like, wait a minute, the signals here are telling me otherwise. So just got to be careful.
Jonathan saying he calls it a hypothebias.
I see that.
Hypothebias. I can't even say that properly. I like the term though, but yes, that sounds very dangerous and confusing.
Yep, absolutely. Mohammed Hussein Ali. Andrew is in chat. He's in chat right now. So if you want to see him trade live and all his teachings, and him and Brian, which again, amazing traders. They're awesome to watch. I enjoy watching them trade and learn a lot from them. Have learned a lot from them over the years. You can check out our membership, right? So they'll be on there. I don't know when they're coming back or if they're coming back. I don't know what the plans are. They keep me in a dark class. They only take me out for the pre-market show and some of the live trading. I don't get memos, and I'm okay with that. It's just what we do.
All right, there's my alarm. We got less than a minute now till the open. Definitely looking weak going into this open. Everything is pointed down. But again, I'm going to be cautious because again, I'm hoping to confirm my hypothesis, not leverage a bias. So we'll see what happens here. Again, Nvidia, it moved up, it moved back down. I'm hoping we get a pop up and then weakness. That's my, hypothesis that I'm going to trade against. But if it doesn't happen, then I have to reevaluate very quickly because in 8 seconds, everything can be turned on its ear. Let's see what happens. And the money enters the market in 1. Here we go.
All right, ding, 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 ding. See where the action is.
Apple's popping up here. Nvidia is popping up a little bit. I see a bunch of orders at 105. Again, looks like I was looking 105.20. That's sort of where I was expecting it to go.
Which one's this one, Peter?
Continue higher. Nvidia.
Okay. Yep. This is setting up nicely for your move here if it comes down. I kind of like that trade.
It's almost moving too far a little bit now, so we'll see what happens. The whole market is moving up. It's tough to tell. You never know where are the deep pockets saying, "Hey, we think that the pull down was too much," or do we think that it's warranted?
Yeah,
I still see.
$5 billion is a lot, but you would think Nvidia can get past that. It's like they're making so much money with their profit margins. It's insane. What is the exception for trading in the first? Yeah, so I don't trade the first 3 minutes because I don't really have a setup. I don't have a strategy. So that's the reason why. But this rising devil is a great strategy that can happen. It might be setting up right now. We'll see. It's taking a little bit too long. So
I
we'll
took
see.
the short. I got a quick partial, and it came right back up and stopped me out at break even. Oh
Oh
no! I
man,
think I might have.
yeah, but that's a
I'm
nice
usually.
dollar move, at least. So not bad.
Yeah, I got a good partial on it. I don't like it's hanging up here a little too long, so I'm not going to re-enter. I was considering re-entering this thing. I don't like. See, there you go.
Oh,
That's
good,
why.
good call.
That's why you
Good
read the
call.
price action.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a
Look at that.
very little baby trade on that where I actually got a partial and then got stopped out. So
Yeah.
that's okay. That's what you do, right? You
Yeah.
wait and see. Wow.
Mad props. Yeah, I'll try to. I'll explain that later. So I got the question now. I read it wrong the first time, but yeah, I can explain that later. And show you some examples if we get a good one. So yeah, no trading for me in the first 3 minutes. Usually between 3 to 5 minutes, we'll see something that looks great for a possible breakout. So we're just sitting tight here as we wait for minute 3 to come along. Amazon got no juice this morning, but that could change. We've seen Amazon start like that and then take off. So pretty quiet right now as far as volume goes. So we'll sit and wait.
Mohammed, I see your question. I'm not sure that I understand it fully. If you're asking about going into the boot camp, yes, that is about a $3,000 course. I mean, you don't need any money immediately to trade because you'll be trading in a simulator account. And again, if you're successful in that, you could actually make money off the deal. But again, don't do it for that reason. Do it because you want to learn how to trade. That's why you should enter it. But eventually, you would need an account, and then the size of that account is dependent on a lot of factors, including what country you're trading from, what the rules are, and again, how much, how big of a size you want to take, et cetera, et cetera. So I won't even suggest that. That's completely up to you.
Yeah.
So Nvidia, a little interesting moves here. Some people probably got along, I would imagine, on Nvidia. I was looking at it for a short, but said I got a tiny little trade. So look at me. I got a trade before Carlos today.
Yeah, man. Very nice. Love it, love it. Anytime you trade before the 3 minute mark, you're gonna beat me. That's for sure. But yeah,
that's true.
nice,
That's
nice.
true. So we'll see what happens now. Like I said, right, the market could be saying, hey, this pull down, the 6% plus pull down is overdone here on Nvidia, and they're looking to reclaim a little bit of value. It's tough to tell. Like we're 3 minutes in now, so
Yeah, it's early. It's early. Let's see. Tesla pulling back a little bit here. Andrew had a great trade, guys. So on an Nvidia, if you don't know, Nvidia is another ticker that you can use. It's a leverage ticker for Nvidia, right? So just got to be careful. Manage your risk accordingly, right? If you feel more comfortable trading this one, you can. But manage your risk. Man, Nvidia is trying to push here.
I love the DAS platform, but it's got idiosyncrasies in it that I just can't get past. I've got this clock that comes from DAS that I put on top of my charts, and it sits there, and I select the option that says always on top, which means it should always be on top of everything. But I call it. I've actually named it the disappearing clock, because it will lose that setting where it actually will go behind the other things, and I have to go find it, bring it forward, and then I uncheck the option and save it. Then I check the option and save it, and it's fine for the rest of the day, and the clock will stay on top. And I can never figure out what days. Some days it disappears, some days it doesn't. It's just so weird. Every once in a while you get these just weird things.
Yeah, man, it's got its quirkiness, I gotta say.
Yeah. People are asking about Powell. Yes, Powell is speaking today. Sometime between about 1:15 and 1:30 is when he's expected to start. I got 2 different times from different sources. So if you're trading through the afternoon, know that, yes, he should be hitting the stage at that time, and we would expect some market reaction. But it's tough to anticipate what that would be because I don't exactly know what he's going to say. So.
Yeah. He's been pretty good at these talks too, guys, right? He knows what to say, what not to say, how to keep things cool.
Yeah.
So he's gotten very good at this. All right, guys, I'm looking for a 5-minute opening range. Why do I make that rule? Not trade before the 3 minutes, because I don't have a strategy before that. That's the reason why. So if I'm trading within 3 minutes of the market open, I'm not trading a strategy, right? And that's just a rule that I have. So right now we're looking for a 5-minute ORB. Let's see if we have anything that's within the range. Like Amazon seems to be giving us a good setup here, right? You can see a little bit rough start, starting to look a little bit better. If it can get above the VWAP, make us new highs, it can be still a good 5-minute ORB. You can see here, 5-minute range is there. But
Amazon looks a lot like the SPY and the Qs right now, so it's
yeah,
this chart looks similar. So
yeah, I am looking
yeah,
at the SPY too, and seeing if anything's happening there. But
Tesla had a decent bounce off the VWAP, but it's not gunning today like it did yesterday.
right, right. Let's see here. Yeah, Amazon's looking good, guys. I think I'm gonna come on, pull back a little bit. Don't leave me. I would like 177 if we can. Stop that. Oh man, I don't want to chase it. I failed the entry here big time. Um, yeah. I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, I had it, man. I don't know what happened. I hesitated. Not hesitated. I just didn't pay close enough attention. But that was it. That was the entry right there. Womp womp womp. Okay.
Don't you
We'll
hate?
find
Don't
another
you
one.
hate that? But that, you
Yeah.
know what?
It's
Credit to you, Carlos. Right when your risk to reward gets eroded, and you just don't have the entry, then sometimes it's good to sit back. And it can be frustrating when like this, right? When the stock just
yeah.
continues to go. But overall, that's the right decision because it just makes it harder for you to get the right return on your money.
Yeah, and then the thing too is you can't survive the pullback. Like if you get a bad entry, it can pull back to 176.90, but if you have a
Right.
bad entry, you're gonna get stopped out, right? So that's important. All right, we'll find something else. Tesla trying to do something here, man. Things are looking strong. Hood seems to have a nice risk to reward there. Um, Hood can be explosive.
Apple's going the opposite direction of everything else, which is pushing higher. Apple seems to be going down.
Mm. Q's Nvidia 5-minute ORB. I don't like it as much up here, right? For the 5-minute ORB. So the 5-minute ORB and my Epic Pen is not working for some reason. So just try to follow my cursor. Actually, no, that's not acceptable. Let's get it to try to work here because if you don't, you can't really see what I'm pointing at.
You can
Yeah,
make
it's not.
boxes and draw on the chart if you want using
Yeah,
the DOS tools.
here it is. Like optimal entry will be around this area. You can take it here, but I want to take a 5-minute RB. It's going to be around this area where I would want to be for the best risk reward. So it's kind of tough chasing up here for that 5-minute RB. You do have an ABCD pattern forming under 1 minute. So maybe off of that strategy. All right. Looks like Andrew took a partial. Wow, AMD doing some nice stuff here.
Yeah.
All right, here comes a market small sell-off. I see the SPY and the Qs turning down a little bit, so small sell-off, nothing big yet. Let's see if we find an opportunity. AMD is killing me, not giving me an entry. Yeah, it's by the time it gives you one, it might be turning the other way. So Hood, I like Hood. The Hood setup looks nice. I like this consolidation here. Possible breakout, but I'm looking at the spots and the Qs. I don't like what I see there. So I don't know, but this seems like it wants to break out some more above 43.10. Level 2, I see 43.10. Got a lot of ask there as well, so that's a good sign. Might want to push up there. Let's see. All right, what is Amazon doing? Oh, this was the trade for me. Amazon, it's gonna go some more. Nice, nice, good, good, good. There it goes. Amazon pushing higher. Man, the hood, it looks like it wants to explode here. I'm thinking about going long hood, guys. I'm not in yet, but looks like it wants to go. We got to give it a little bit of room, though. 42.60 maybe below this consolidation. But I want to see like more confirmation that we're actually gonna explode here. But I like this consolidation. It looks good. We're holding. Yeah, let's go long. Let's go long hood. Let's see. I like what I'm seeing here.
You talked yourself into it.
Yeah, I did. Oh, my keys are not working. No wonder. So something wrong with this cable. All right, you know what? We'll go in with the keyboard. That's okay. We'll go in with the keyboard. That's fine. All right. Shift 1 is my entry for this. No problem. It's always a backup plan. So we're long hood here, guys. It's just it feels like it wants to break out. Had a nice consolidation. Stop loss below 42.60-ish. So we want to get a nice move if we can. Let's see if that can happen here on hood. Looks nice. Hopefully it doesn't make us wait too long for the action to take place. Anyone short Nvidia? I don't know, man. Be careful. Nvidia seems like it's down, but it just seems like it wants to make up some loss gains here. So just be careful. Well, again, if you have your setup, go for it. But just be ready to move out quickly. All right, hood trying to get the high of the day, struggling a little bit here. We'll have light to get some cushion quickly on this thing. Not this pullback we're getting. Market is selling off back below the view up again. So that doesn't help our cause. What are you guys trading? So no trades for you, Pig Wrestler? Okay.
Whoever called that short on Nvidia, Spartacus, you got the short-term move. I'm not sure if you're using level 2 or a book map or something to see that, but definitely you got a short-term pullback.
Yeah. SPY selling off. I don't like this. I might get out even before my stop on this stock here. Let's see. So that's why my Epic
I don't really like I don't like the way anything's moving right now myself. So I just had that one tiny little trade on Nvidia that quickly got stopped out. I think the whole trade, let's see, from start to finish, that trade lasted 12 seconds. So there you go.
That is fast, man. That's pretty fast.
9:31.01, and then I got a partial at 9:31.09, and it came back up and stopped me out at 9:31.13. So there you go. Sometimes that's how fast it happens.
Yeah, man, that is pretty fast. Let me stop messing with this. Let me see here. I'm gonna stop out of a hood. So I'm long hood. My stop loss is 42.60, and I'm ready to stop out if we get closer, which I think we are, because we're getting a nice sell-off on the SPY here. So 42.60 will be out of this one. Let's see. Oh, we're right on it. Yeah, I don't like it. Let's get out. Okay. So stop that on that one, and then I'm going to try to work on this thing over here.
I'll just say while I'm watching the markets, I'm just watching the markets not do much. Oh, whoever took that Tesla short, you got a little bit of a drop. Let's see if we can get down to the low we set right at the open, which would be about 247.50-ish. Got another buck to move. Anyways, I don't know if there's any runners out there, but I gotta say, I swear to God that running is rewiring my brain, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. To be honest, it's like I had a horrible run on Saturday, just on Sunday. Sorry, horrible. I felt bad about it. I felt bad doing it. I started off so excited to do this long run, and it just didn't end well for me. And then my back hurt, and I had all sorts of problems, so I hadn't run again until this morning. And I went out, and I felt great. I just thought, you know what, this is. I feel good running, and I'm thinking, why do I feel so good running? I shouldn't, but I swear I'm being like conditioned now. I feel I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. But oh well.
But you feel good, man. That's good.
I guess so. I do feel good, and I'm not sure why that bothers me so much, but it does. I don't want to
Yeah.
feel good running. I think it's because most of my life I've spent saying I hate running. It's
You
not
might
a
start.
thing I
You
like
might
to
start
do.
liking it.
I know that's what frightens me, because then I have to admit that maybe I was wrong, or maybe I was just right at that time for me. But anyways, it's still, for whatever reason, it just bothers me. So
I
yeah.
got you, man. What's going on?
The runner's high, I guess. I kept saying I've never got the runner's high. I think maybe it's just because I was expecting like some fireworks in my brain, like some immediate big impact. But I think it's more of a general thing. And I don't know why it annoys me. It annoys
Mm-hmm.
me that I'm actually getting it. But anyways, whatever. It's I should take advantage of it. I do feel healthier than I have in a while, so that's a good thing.
All right, guys. Just trying to figure out what's going on with my keyboard thing, man, but it's weird. Um, yeah. All right, let's see what the action is.
Drop.
Yeah. So I think someone mentioned why such a type stop. Here's why, man, because I strongly believe I can always get back in. You know, there's no need for me to hold on to this area here. You know, take a very small loss, and you can always, if it sets up again, get back in. You know, and I learned that from Andrew. It took me a while. He was doing it all the time, but it took me a while to, man, just get out and get back in. There's nothing stopping you. You lose what?
Right.
You pay extra commission. You know, just get back in and don't worry about it. So, I think
Yeah,
it's where,
commissions are
yes.
cheap. Like it's yes, it's sort of a tax on your trading, but it's one of the cheapest things you'll pay, and the freedom it gives you to enter a trade, get out of a trade. Yeah, you shouldn't
Yeah.
hesitate. Let's face it. You know, people always lament about fees, but you know, again,
Yeah.
what are you probably paying? I guess it depends on where you are. Like I'm with IBKR, independent brokers, and yeah, I pay like a third of a penny per share. But if I get out of a
Yeah.
trade and get back in at a penny better price, I just made 3/4 of a penny, or 2/3 of a penny, if you want to look at it that way. So, like, you know, like it really is a lot cheaper than almost anything else you can do. Like, we're willing to lose money or spend money on trading, and yet people complain about commissions all the time, and it's such a minor part of the overall picture, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
don't let commissions dictate your decision making.
Joseph says he pays. It's so expensive. Really? Well, how much are you paying? Just curious. How much? Who are you with? You know, because now with the competition, market is going lower. By the way, I am looking for where's the best short party to join, and is it going to be Amazon again? I think it's going to be Amazon again, guys.
Apple actually did drop here.
Like the setup, got the pullback. Could be this one.
I'm just on the standard tiered, plan for IBKR, and it said I pay about between a third and a half a cent per share traded. And again, half a cent a share. People, again, I'm always confused when people say how expensive it is, because the other way I look at it is I also use them because I get better fills, and it only takes, again, a 1 cent better fill. I've just made money on the commissions, right? So to me, there's a lot of places where you can get free commissions, but you got to keep in mind, how well are they filling you? Like, it's tough to know if you get filled a penny or two higher or lower, depending on what type of entry you're doing, but then you should have. But all it takes is 1 or 2 cents, and you've now cost yourself more money than if you'd just paid the commission up front, right? I'm 100% convinced of that. So keep that in mind when you're making trading decisions. The cost isn't always the upfront cost.
Yeah.
Or it's not only the upfront cost.
Carlos.
I'm watching this. You're right. The markets are looking weak, like they want to go lower. But I'm looking at like Nvidia, AMD, even like Meta and Google. They don't seem to be dropping as aggressively as I'd like to see. To be honest, I'm not sure what to make of this market. Apple.
It's weird.
I wish I'd taken Apple short. To be honest, I should have just trusted that it was moving a little contrarian early on. Now it looks like it's just a forerunner. But
I am short on AMD. I just got in a few minutes ago when you were talking. Last minute, actually.
All right.
Let's see if it drops here. I like the setup. I think it has got the best risk reward with the VWAP right on here. And again, as you guys know, my setup is drops below the VWAP. I want to see the pullback, which you got a good one here, but I missed it. We got another one here, so I'm in short now. And let's see if we get the continuation. Stop loss has to be above the VWAP, so anywhere between 7 and 177.20, we need to stop out. Our strategy is no longer in play here. Let's see if we get the flush. Treated us well yesterday. Might not do the same today, but Amazon's become my favorite ticket to trade, man. Let's see if it can deliver today. Did I say something else? I meant Amazon. Yeah. Did I say something else?
I think you said Amazon.
I thought I said Amazon.
I heard.
Let's go back to the tape. Where's the refs? Let's check. Throw a flag in the field. I did say AMD. Okay, yes. No. See, if everybody says I said AMD, so they're right. We're wrong.
Well, it's all right. They're paying attention.
That's right. Paying attention. That 20 people cannot be wrong, Peter. Right? Yeah. That's right. Guys, over on YouTube, again, we appreciate you guys being here. So hit that thumbs up. We appreciate you guys tuning in every morning, preparing with us with the pre-market show. We love this stuff. So having you guys here prepared together is awesome. Hearing your comments and what you guys are doing is also great. So we really appreciate it, man. We do this because we really love it. And your company is great. It really is. So hopefully we're doing the same for you. And and you're learning at the same time. So
Nvidia's just breaking below the VWAP. Let's see if it holds down there and goes lower. Low of the day sitting at 104.35. So a ways to go if it's going to go down that way, but it could.
Yeah. It is laptop day, man. You guys are on it. On it. It is laptop day. This is why you just get out. Get out. Look at this.
Wow.
Set your stop. Look at Hood. Just get out. Just there's no need to mess around. Get out of the trade. If it would have came back up and set up again, we jump back in. But you don't want to hold through this crap. And it's just get out. You can always get back in. Commissions are cheap. And look at this. By us getting out, right, and just stopping, we found hopefully a better opportunity. We have Amazon here. We're actually getting close to taking a partial if we continue here. So it frees up your mental bandwidth to look at better opportunities, opposed to holding something, wishing and thinking is going to come back. Get out, get back in. Commissions are cheap, And here we go. Let's see if we can get a partial. We love 176, but I don't want to be greedy. But I think this move is significant to the downside here on the Qs and the SPY. Looks like we might get a nice payoff here, man. Yeah.
Good entry as it turns out on Amazon.
Yeah, man. Turned out really nice here. Amazon again taking care of us this week. So
I do have some Romo here, some regret of missing out on Apple. I was watching Apple at 199 when it consolidated, and it look, I mean, in hindsight, of course, it looks perfect, and I didn't pull it through. Look at where it consolidated between 940 and 945 there, and I should have taken it short with a stop above the VWAP. It would have been a good sort of 30-cent stop, and look at that. I would have got $2 out of it. Great risk to reward.
You were looking at this early, man. I do remember you mentioned it.
Failure to execute on my part.
Yep.
So you know what? Important thing is acknowledge that. Look, what did I tell you guys yesterday? I'm going to try and trade more at the open. I'm still working on that. Look, I struggle with it, and I openly admit because I need you guys' help. You're my accountability partners out here, right? Take the
There we
damn
go.
trade. Take the
Yes.
damn
You know
trade.
what,
I'm
Peter? We
still
might have to
working on
get
it.
that bigger. Let's talk to your son and order
Yeah.
a 3x5
Look,
or something. We need it bigger. Three
and
by
look
five
at
feet, by the way.
JC Trader 81. He says, "Sorry, Peter, took the short on Apple when you said it." So there you go. Look, I see you guys
Yeah.
are listening. I just need to do what I say. So look, good for you, JC. Look,
Yeah.
I don't begrudge you that at all. Good for you, right? You saw the trade. You were willing to take it. You took the risk, and look, now you're reaping the rewards. So good on you.
Yeah.
Like I should have just did it myself. But at the
Yeah.
very least, I'm glad if me mentioning it helped confirm what you're already seeing. I hope you did it because you saw something yourself, not just because I said it. You gotta ask That's right, Chip. You know what? I can't tell you how many school dances. Do they still do school dances? Anyways, I can't
I
tell you how many
haven't
school
got there yet.
dances.
Haven't got there yet.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
I used to spend standing at the side of the gym, with the other dudes, talking about nothing, just desperate to go and ask the girl to dance, and just could not get up the gumption to go do it. So, and you
Yeah.
knew, at least in my day, when they played Stairway to Heaven, you knew the lights were coming on after that because that was usually what they ended a dance with. Now,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
dating myself here, but the song was old when I was a kid, but it's what they used in the night because that was the slow dance that the adults were comfortable putting on for us kids.
Yeah.
SMCI getting a pop right now, really sort of a big pop up here.
Yeah. See, the markets
The
is
high
turning a little
day.
bit. So I taken some off more on Amazon in case this pullback is going to change directions. But just took again, what I like to call a defensive partial, kind of defend the number of
Yeah.
shares you take back up. Let's see if we can get lower, man. If we could break this 176 would be nice. And the SPY might help us. Look at Bull. I see Andrew watching Bull, Bull, and that's taken off pretty nice here. He's not in it. He's just watching it, but you're getting almost a $3.50 pop there on that move. All right, Apple might keep moving down further away for a retest. You might be right on this, given how the overall market is moving here. All right, Amazon, let's make this. We have a great trade. Let's make it an amazing trade. As far as returns, looks like it wants to do that for us. But again, whatever happens here, guys, after this doesn't matter. What matters is the entry, right? We took it on the breakdown here, the retest of the VWAP, and then the slam down on the show of weakness is usually where I like to get in, stop loss above the VWAP. So we did see the market kind of showing some weakness, and then we just started searching around which one had the best risk to reward opportunity if it was going to follow the market. And again, Amazon was right by the VWAP, so it played nicely. Opposed to Apple, Apple was already gone, so you couldn't really enter Apple. That's why, even though you were watching it, Peter, by that time you couldn't get in. This happened a little bit earlier on Apple. See the drop here, the retest, and then the breakdown. So happened a little much earlier on Apple. That's where you saw it, right, Peter, up here?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would have been
Nine
real
nine
nice.
943, 944 was the optimal entry. That's when I was watching it. So, anyways, yeah, good opportunity.
All right, guys.
there.
Hopefully, you guys are short on something because things just continue to drop here. New low on Amazon. Amazon to 171. I hope. I don't think so, but I hope that would be very nice. PLTR, yes, PLTR showing some weakness. I'm sure. Look who's holding. AMD is not budging. AMD is not having no part of this humanity. So it could be interesting. So yep, Abinachi levels. Yeah, Avi is if you want to see Avi trading live, he has his own mentorship. He's not going to be back on YouTube because he has his own members to take care of. And so that's over at Trading Terminal Academy. So if you go through there, you can see his setup, and if you want to see him trading live, you can. Again, very different style, and we love the
Yeah.
way he trades too. He's a really great
He
trader.
he
Yeah.
will be trading live throughout the boot camp for anybody joining the P Capital boot camp. So basically,
Oh,
you get
good. Good.
access to Avi every day as he trades live in the market. So yeah, that'll be good.
T-Man says Avi does not like us on YouTube. That is not true, man. Avi loves you guys. He's got a lot going on the other side, so that's all. That's all. He loves you
Tell
guys.
you
He
know
loves
what?
coming on.
Just T-Man, just tell him you've got a hot tub and he's invited over anytime. He'll love you.
Oh yeah,
Promise.
he'll fly over and trade with you for free. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. He loves his hot tubs.
He does. He does. All right, let's see if Amazon is going lower. Let's take a look here. All right, perfect. All right, friends. Hopefully you guys had a good trade so far. Let's see here. Short Nvidia at VWAP. Let's see. Nvidia at VWAP. Let's take a look. Nvidia. Yeah, it's a good risk to reward. I like the VWAP here. The only thing is I will hope for this sell-off to continue, because that can definitely help. It's helping on Amazon. So we just need the SPYs to keep doing what it's doing, because that does help when the overall sentiment is down. So, but what I like about the VWAP, it gives you a good indication. Okay, this is the level. If it doesn't go below this, if it goes above it or sets up above it, most likely your strategies is not in play. We're kind of bottoming out a little bit here on Amazon, so I'm going to take another partial right here, and let's see if we can hold on to that 9. This is the 9 moving average. Hold on, let's take a look at the 1 minute. It's much cleaner. If we could hold on to this, that would be great. Just continue holding on to that 9 moving average there, and hopefully we get enough cushion that then the 20 becomes our stop, right? Which actually can be now, because right over here is the 20. But usually that's what people do. Once they get a nice cushion away from the entry, you want to hold the 9, but you can break the 9, and the 20 is usually your stop. If it doesn't bounce off the 20, it's usually going to reverse. Again, I say usually because nothing is for sure. How many stocks do I short at once on Amazon? No, just one short. It's over here. Just one short. I haven't added my original short. We try to make these triangles pink, but it's hard to see. But it's right here. We gotta try another color.
You can make it bigger. Do you want to make them different color?
Let's make it bigger.
Because they're always going to be in a red candle. You know what you could do? You could make the outline stronger. Make them like white. Then they'll really show up.
Yeah. Where is this? Remind me, Peter, you're good at where all this stuff is at. This is
chart
config.
area. Yeah, config area.
Yep.
And then
triangle
you gotta
size.
scroll down. There you go.
Let's see. Let's try 6. See how that looks. A little better. We could go a little bigger. I don't want to make it too big either, but
yeah, change it to white. I think that'll it'll show up. It'll show up.
Change
nicely.
the color to white. Yeah, but if I'm going long, if I'm going, shorting,
but you're always. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But you'll have the outline, right? The outline. Will always be there.
Yeah. Let's try it. So the triangle.
See how it goes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Long triangle colors, short triangle colors, and sell.
Yeah, you want the short triangle color.
Yeah, so let's do white. What happened? I must have changed the wrong thing.
We're on the wrong chart.
No, because that one seems fine.
There you go. This one still says pink. See?
Oh, is this? Yeah. So what the heck? What is this? I changed this. Let me put this back to red. Let's put that back to red, and we'll change this over here. All right. Ooh, maybe gray. What about gray? Because then if it's on a white and white, I can see it. I don't like it,
All right.
but we'll try it. Let's give it a little chance. I'll be honest.
Don't love it. That's
Don't
fair.
love it, but let's see.
Anyways.
All right, here it is. On the 20 now. Can we bounce off the 20 on Amazon? If not, we are going to hop right out of there. We'd love to see. Yeah, we're not doing it. So we're going to get out on this one, guys. I think that's a great trade already. We might be bottoming out here and heading the other direction. So
yeah, pop up on Nvidia right now. Or Tesla, I mean. Sorry, Tesla. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, so good there. Yeah, it's looking nice. Tesla. All right, friends. Tesla has been tough. Look at this. Look at this chart on the 1 minute, man. This is very difficult to trade. This back and forth, every candle overlapping the previous one. It's almost like mini engulfing patterns everywhere you see. This is tough trading. And even here, it's just not clean. We usually see better than that. And even the 5 minute looks pretty bad, man. The 5 minute looks. This is not typical Nvidia. I mean Tesla stuff. All right, this Tesla is not. Yeah, it looks messy. Now it's starting to look much cleaner. Let's see if it can continue. But yeah, Jonathan, I agree. This is garbage price action on Tesla.
Oh my, guys, AMD. Sorry, Apple. I just so much Romo. I was there. I called it.
This is a big trade. Yeah. That is a $3 move almost. It's a big trade.
Well. Who do I have to blame? Me. Just me. What the heck are they talking about in the chat room? I just see someone talking about Skynet. No Skynet. I don't want Skynet.
Skynet is that's not Starlink. Skynet is something else. What's Skynet? Is it like a Starlink?
No, it's Terminator.
Oh, yes. That is. Terminator. Yes. All right. Anybody in anything? What are you guys trading right now? What do you guys? Because a lot of it looks messy at the moment, but maybe you guys have some ideas where we haven't jumped in on. Short PLTR. Let's see. PLTR short. Okay, so you took the pullback. Okay, let's see. So maybe hopefully back to the low of the day at least, and then a flush here. Another great setup also earlier for short on a PLTR. So off the VWAP. All right, maybe SMCI long. Yeah,
I don't know. SMCI did have a move higher. I'm just not sure how sustained that move will be. So, but I'm always suspicious of SMCI. So
nobody has mentioned United Airlines short. Yeah, so they had earnings and then they're just hanging here. Still up for the day, right? They're still up almost.
They did go red
0.8%. Yeah. Yep. Trying to hold here. So we'll see. It's funny. The airlines. So I think it was United or Delta. They were saying that they were getting close to seeing revenue as high as prior to the pandemic, right? So they've been doing certain things really well here, and coming back aggressively right after the pandemic hit and kind of brought everything to a halt. They've done a great job recovering. But now the tariffs and everything else are bringing things to a halt here as far as continuing that recovery. But they're like very close. I forget the percentage of how far they were from hitting pre-COVID numbers. Because you guys remember pre-COVID, airlines were they were rocking, man. They were doing so well. And it was United or Delta. One of them is like this will be their first earnings where they report well, they didn't report a loss, but they could report a loss coming up. And they haven't done so in like a 2 year straight because this has been, getting better and better. So I forget which airline was, so don't quote me, but just kind of shows you how much they've done here. You can actually take Apple short now. It's pulling back. This is, I find this, again, not an expert on reversals in this time of the day, but I find these places so hard to trade, man. Like the
Yeah.
strategy, I find it so difficult. And I try trading here because usually when you first start to learn, it's, you trade all parts of the day, every single hour that you can, you're in a trade. And I just find this area, it's usually below the VWAP, this middle area to be the toughest place to trade because it can go either way. You don't got great risk to reward. It can go either way. So it's tough. Not saying that's not possible, but it is a tough area. I like to be here going up. I like to be here going down or break out or break down. But this middle area is like, is tough. So, but if you got a strategy you can trade within that area, man, good, because that happens a lot. This position you're in right now.
I agree wholeheartedly because I will not trade in this area. So
I don't trade in that zone, man. That is
yep.
that is a no for me. I get stopped out too many times, right?
The old no. Yep.
SMCI. Yeah, SMCI did not pull down like other stocks did. This thing just it shot up pretty nice here. So SMCI doing some stuff. Don't diddle in the middle. Yes, Ben, exactly. Exactly it. Don't diddle in the middle. I like that.
Okay. That's
I like that.
Provocative.
Yes, definitely intriguing. Apple pulling back here. Amazon also taking a break. ABCD pattern AMD. Let's see. I think you're looking at the 5-minute, right? I think this drop is aggressive. Maybe if it settles above the VWAP again, but I think below the VWAP for me personally, it could be tough for a long here. Or are you talking about reverse ABCD pattern? Because you have that as well coming up here. You haven't got to the point of the entry yet because it'll be a reverse ABCD pattern. But if you're thinking of this, I think this low is too low. Like I would love to have it above the VWAP here, then the CD point at the breakout, right? So I don't love it below the VWAP like that. Let's see here. Seems like the market is waiting for Powell to speak. That's a good, yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, could very well be.
Yeah.
And that's not happening till this afternoon. So
yeah, we got some ways to go. Yeah. Question, Carlos, does the time is indication to exit? So for example, if a 5-minute passes, it does not hit the stop but does not run, do you exit? All right, so you're saying like if I enter a trade and 5-10 minutes in, we're not still getting the move, we're just kind of chopping around between our target and our stop loss, do we leave the trade if it's taking some time? Yes and no. It depends. Like if you have a breakout trade, like if it's a high of day trade, for example, and usually you get the good trades when it happens immediately in the next 1 or 2 candles, and then if it doesn't happen by then, usually from your experience it comes right back down, you get the pull back to the VWAP, then yeah, your timing is an issue. But I think it depends really a lot on your strategy. For example, like Hood is not a good one. We had a good one yesterday. Was it Amazon? I forgot which one it was, but it took forever. It took like 10 minutes before we actually got the move, right? So we waited. So for me, the 5-minute RB is really not a time is not a thing to exit or enter. The price action is, right? If the price action is giving you indication that it's time to enter and leave the trade, yeah, the price action would do it. But there are situations like that, like I see people with the high of day. It's such a breakout momentum trade that if it doesn't happen like the next 2 candles, they usually see it come back down because the buyers keep fighting the sellers, and then the more they're trying, the buyers get tired, so they get exhausted, and you usually get a drop if you're trying to break out of a level. So I've seen that. I don't see it much with the 5-minute ORB as far as the time constraint. And this is not a good example because this dropped pretty quickly here. So not a good one. Tesla back to the VWAP, messy. Yeah, Pig Rest. It's like we're getting these really great moves at the market
Great soccer
open.
Player.
Who's that?
Wearing soccer jersey. Messi.
Oh, somebody
that's not
asked you
you
about the
talking
shirt. Yeah, somebody asked about the shirt earlier today.
Soccer. Local team. Whoops, the Ottawa Fury. So, little local team. My daughter used to
Ottawa
play for
Fury.
them, but
Nice.
they've got a competitive team too. So,
Yeah, awesome.
anyways,
He is speaking. If you're talking about Powell, he's speaking at 1, right? Peter, correct me if I'm wrong.
115. Yeah, 115 to 130.
Okay. BT or B trade levels. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Glad it's been good this week. Yeah, this week has been great, man. This week we've been getting a lot of decent moves. So it's Wednesday. We still got some more time to go here. So yeah, it's been awesome, man. United back to PDC. United Airlines. Yeah, it is. We are getting everything coming back here. The markets as well are pulling back a little bit. Who was in short on, what was it, Apple? If you were short Apple, remember here, you're doing good right now. Just made a new low a few minutes ago.
JC was short Apple.
Was it JC? Nice. Good.
Got the good trade. Took it when I did not. So he's like, yep, that was me.
There you
You
go.
should be proud of that. Again, smart trade, right? You took a disciplined trade. I like it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
That's the
thing.
move.
All right, Andrew's coming up in a few minutes here. Someone reminded me it's laptop day today.
Yeah, we need to get those.
Get
likes.
those likes up.
chugging.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's blow those likes out of the water, guys. So when he comes in, he's feeling happy and good to go, and we just get straight to the prize.
Ready to give stuff away. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sitting at 295 is what I'm showing right now. Let's try to get that to I know we only have 847, so 500 would be tough, but if we could do it, let's just do it. Get it out the way. Yeah, let's do that. So wait, are the laptops getting more likes than me and Peter?
That's all right.
That is a shame.
That's what it takes. Well, takes what it takes.
No, I get it, man. I try to hit the likes on a lot of videos, but sometimes even on this stream, I forget to hit the like, right? It's just, you turn it on, you start doing what you're doing, and you just kind of forget sometimes. So, I get it. So it's good to remind people. And it could be annoying for those that already hit it and do it every morning. So thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
I already did that. Thank you for your patience. We love you.
Yeah. We're not talking to you then.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Apple. Nvidia came back down, but it didn't really. This level is holding right where we bounced off 175.63. What is this? We have this here from pre-market low. No, not pre-market low. This is a daily level, I guess, from this area here. Just mark this down a couple of days ago. So that level seems to be holding pretty well. Let's see if it wants to break down from it. Yeah, it's Ben says looks like we're consolidating. Could be membership. Yes, membership. You have a laptop already. Membership is actually much better. It's more value too. Like you could get a laptop for a good laptop for like $700. Decent laptop.
Yeah. And anybody can, you can get a laptop anywhere. You can only get a membership here. So
that's true. Very, very true.
Much better deal.
If I win a laptop, do I need to pay the 240% tariff? If you're not in the U.S., be ready. I suggest you get a
That is a great
membership.
question. Great
I
question. I don't
suggest
know how to answer.
I suggest you get a membership. Uh, Custom clearance will be upon delivery. Customer will take care of the clearance. I mean, it's got to be a nightmare. I used to be in operations. When you used to ship to Canada, you got to do the custom clearance and all that. It's got to be a nightmare for these guys that are still in operations doing this thing. The back and forth. Well, not so much Canada and Mexico no more because I think we kind of calmed down. But if we used to ship a lot of stuff from China, I just couldn't imagine how these guys are doing. Actually, everything came from China. It was a Chinese company. We made everything over there.
Indeed.
Yes, you do. MP, yes, you do. It'll come out more expensive than the actual laptop. So my recommendation is get a membership or bank for your buck.
Microsoft. If you were trusting Microsoft to be a short, good. Just looking at the chart here, good double test of the VWAP from the. Look at that wiki bounce off the underside. Could have taken it short there. Another. That's also a good trade.
Wait, Microsoft?
Than that. Yeah.
Where now?
Just well, no, near the open.
Yeah.
838. Yeah, right around there. So it retested right at the beginning, tested again. The problem is at that same time, the SPY was sort of holding even and looked like even it might go slightly longer. But if you're willing to trust the short on Microsoft, even cleaner than the Apple trade, really, from the setup.
Yeah. Microsoft, it could be hard to trade. The Apple one looks really, although it's not as clean, it's easier to enter. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but for me, this entry would have been much easier here.
Yeah,
because of the way the VWAP
is
placed.
I was looking at the later entry, that second sort of ABCD or whatever you want to call it, but
down here.
Yes, exactly that one.
Okay, yeah.
And just either way, still a great trade. Yeah.
Yep. Friends, today at 11, we're going to have Lenny. Lenny, as you guys know, Paris is on vacation, so Lenny's going to be joining us at 11. Andrew, in just a couple of minutes here, we'll see what he did. He had a great trade in Nvidia. I think he crushed that one. I saw some couple of additions and partials, so I know he did well on that. So yeah, Lenny's going to be joining us. I'm going to get ready to send him a link so he can come right on in.
And looks like Lenny will be covering at the beginning of May as well for me when I'm away.
Yes,
that'll be great.
When are you away? I forgot to tell you, I gotta be away some days too.
May the 1st through the 9th. So basically, it's a Thursday, Friday, and then all of that next week. So at the beginning of May.
Let's see here. Copy. What am I sending? Things are bouncing back a little bit here. SPY is at back at the VWAP. Qs, SPY. Apple's trying to turn.
Indeed. Oh, still regret that Apple trade. Or the lack of the Apple trade. JC, you can buy me a drink when we next connect.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, SMCI. So you were right. Whoever said was long SMCI back around 1010, I think is when you were calling it.
Yeah, who was that?
Certainly moved higher. I'll give you that. I still don't not a setup for me. It didn't look that certain. I mean, clearly worked, and it's gone green now, which is interesting because it's the only semiconductor that's green at the moment. Maybe I should stop doubting. Need to stop doubting
The
SMCI's
Milniks,
ability here.
I think was the person here. The Milniks was, he's out now, but I think he was long on this one. Yeah, SMCI has his days, man. Today's one of those days where it is straight crushing it. Like, this looks really, really nice. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. Here, look back at 950, 955, and it held VWAP. Yeah, that's what we're saying here. This is pretty good trade for you.
Yeah,
very nice.
I don't. Still, not one I would have taken. I got to stick to that, right? Just not a strategy that matches my criteria. But I get it. I see what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good luck, guys. Whoever wins the membership and laptop, we gotta start getting these videos. I like to see the winner. Who won last week? Are you in here? You know what we're gonna do is, I gotta approve this by Andrew. I'm just making stuff up here, but let's see if he rolls with me. If the person that wins doesn't do a video that we can see, and because I love seeing the winners. I mean, it's nice. If you don't make a video, the next week we don't give nothing away. So
no, we can't.
No, we can't do that. I know, but we gotta get the videos, man. These are nice. I like seeing the few that we got. Were awesome to see people, with their setup.
I thought that was the one requirement of getting your thing, that you got to send us the video first, and then
people get it. This one guy, he got it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it next week." Crickets. Never heard from him again.
Yeah. Disappeared into the ether.
Oh, disappeared into the ether.
No. Yeah.
I was like, come on. You get a membership, you get a laptop, you can do, and sometimes people overthink the video, right? Just take your phone, put it on a selfie, and just do it,
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like super fancy, really.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Don't overthink it. Just act like you're sending a selfie to your friend or a video to your friend. Just do it quick. We'll make it look good on our end. No problem. We had one person did it with some traffic in the background. We did some noise filtering and block out the traffic. We'll make it work. Send it.
Yeah.
How do I make my charts look clean like mine? So how do you make your charts look clean like? Send me an email, carlos@bearbootraders.com. I'll send you my layout. It's probably the easiest way because I don't know what your layout has. So if you have Dash Trader Pro, I'll send you my default format that you can just load it in and see if you like it. So I'll send it for the charts only, because if I send you the entire layout, depending on your screen configuration, might be a little funky. But I'll send you what I have here. So send me an email, carlos@bearbootraders.com. I'll do it later today. And anybody else, use the email address. If you have any questions or you got something you want to share or whatever, send it to me and I'll get back to you. Do it now before bootcamp starts. When bootcamp starts, you're not going to get quick answers. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
When bootcamp begins that first week of May, it's going to be 3 to 5 days response. Right now it's 24, 40 hours.
I'm telling you, it's going to be tougher on you this boot camp too, because Mike and I are both going to be in France there.
Yeah,
so he normally does a lot of stuff that we're going to need some help with.
Agreed. What software do we use? Does it link to Interactive Brokers? Yes, we use Dash Trader Pro, and it does link with Interactive Brokers and many other brokers, Schwab and some other ones. So if you have a broker already that you like, reach out to Dash to see if you could connect to them.
So Dash Trader Pro is the platform. It's just the front end. It displays the data, but the actual account and the trading is done with independent brokers. So the broker always acts on the back end. It's the one that holds your money and actually executes your trades. And then you usually have a display system. Sometimes the broker will provide a system. Like Interactive Broker has their own. They have their own system that you could use if you want. We just prefer DAS and figure it's worth the money. So we pay extra for using it
Yeah.
because that's all they do.
Matthew, I just read his comment here. He will make us a short film.
Oh,
That's awesome. So if Matthew happens to win the random YouTube giveaway, we had nothing to
right.
do with it. There's no fraud. Oh, just randomly. You know, they were doing that in my country in the R. They did that. They found they were rigging somehow. They were rigging the, you know how the balls come out with the numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They found a way to rig that, man, and man, when people found out, it was insane. They were going nuts.
Pandemonium, I bet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
There's a
So
good.
they,
I read a book. A good. It was a fiction book about that where they were rigging the lottery.
mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah, yeah, man. It's just
good little mystery
madness.
novel there. I
All
think
right,
it was
where are we,
called The
guys?
Winner.
Where are we? What else? Opportunities? I don't see any, but what do we see here? Amazon back above the VWAP. Setup that I like to go long here, but I just don't trust we'll get the continuation. But this is a good entry here above the VWAP. You got a good risk to reward. Um, this is a long. This is a long setup here, but man, I have a great day already. Do I want to
Mm,
put on more risk? Is the question, and the answer usually is no. Um, when things are not trading clean, but
right.
this looks like a potential long here. Georgie says nothing. I am personally long from 89. Don't know if I recommend it though. When you say 89, you're probably talking about POTR, right? Because
Or
that
AMD.
price, or
I
AMD,
don't know. It could be.
maybe AMD, because POTR is a higher price. Um, Hood never recovered as well.
Yeah, Hood had that big drop, and it just
Yeah, this
down.
it's funny, Peter. This would be me in the past. Like this gives me flashback of my younger trading days. I'll get in here, right? I'll get in, not stop
Right.
out where I'm supposed to, and then just hold through all this crap. Oh, this will give me a little bit of hope. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Next thing you know, at the end of the day, you still have to settle for a red day or a red trade,
Right.
and you would have missed the opportunity on Amazon or on Tesla or on Apple or on any other ticker. So
Right.
important, guys. I mean, I know somebody else is going through this because I'm not the only one that did this. If I am, man, don't tell me because I don't want to feel that dumb. But if you're going through this, just stop out. Just stop out,
Yeah.
refocus somewhere else, and trust me, it's a relief. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes to do it over and over again. Like you don't even think about it. So it's a great thing to learn very early on if you're just starting to trade. I want to join the membership bootcamp, but I really have to save like 2 or 3 months before I can join. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. You know, there's no rush. We'll be here.
Yeah. We got another
Just
one in
keep learning.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep learning, keep coming here. Look at the free videos on Trading Terminal Academy. Just when you are ready to start, you know, the boot camp, you're ahead. You know, you're ahead. You know the basics. You know a lot of stuff, and you're focused on improving from the point that you are in. Right, Peter? You mentioned all the time, like this is not for the faint of heart. So brand new
Yeah.
traders, you know, you got to be careful because then you're gonna spend the quality time that you have with us doing basic stuff that you could get ahead of with BBT, right? Peter, you
Yeah, and
mention this all the
actually,
time.
yeah, and it's a great point. Like the best way to go into boot camp is if you have a strategy that you've been working on that you're sort of primarily focused on. It doesn't have to be the strategy you think you're going to trade for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be even working for you at this point, but you have to understand it enough that you can sort of manage the strategy and the rules with a certain degree of confidence. We can take that, and that really gives you a good basis to start the boot camp. It's usually those that come into boot camp that say, I don't have a strategy, I have no idea, or you don't even have to have just started. Maybe I've been trading for a while, but I've just been randomly trading, and I want to build a strategy. It's harder because you're starting with a blank sheet of paper, which is always more difficult. You'll get most value if you come in with a view of a strategy, because then we can help you refine it, understand how to work with the strategy, build upon it, and then once you've got those basics, then you could build any strategy you want later, right? So that's your best way. Now, that being said, if you say, like, I just don't know. I don't know what my strategy should look like. I've tried a bunch of things, nothing's worked. That's okay. I'm not saying don't join boot camp. I'm just saying you're going to have a little bit more work up front. And we do have a series of courses that Mike takes you through as part of boot camp to help you figure out the strategy that you should start with. But there's extra work. So, I think that, this, again, you got to consider it like a university level course, right? There's some
Good morning,
prerequisites.
Peter.
And it really helps on the basics. Good morning, Andrew. We were just talking about the Peak Capital Boot Camp and how people can get involved in it. So,
yeah, I'm super excited. We don't actually have a lot of spots left. There's only 5, I think. 5 spots left. So if anyone wants to join, I know today Luis signed up.
Yeah.
So super excited, guys. I had a pretty good day. We had a really good conversation in the chat. Like, I'm not really taking any other trade. So we had a very nice trading at the open for me, opening range breakout on Nvidia. And we just came and asked if there's any questions from our friends in YouTube that you don't want to pay $1 to join us.
There we go.
Brian, turn off your mic on the chat.
Oh, I thought I did. Sorry.
Wow.
And
mic
mute
sounds
yourself
great today, Brian.
I did. There you go. All right. There you go. Sorry. It's off.
Good. Well, we'll leave it to you guys. Have a great trading day, everybody. And we will keep those likes coming. We appreciate them.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
The likes are super nice because the reason that we're asking for the likes is just obviously we want to grow our channel, and it means a lot to us because we create a lot of good contents, but also we're not really great content creators. So your support of community, that would be awesome.
All right. How was everyone's day today?
Awesome. Any question, guys? Like, I know you guys didn't see the trading, but if Carlos wants to show what we did through today, I traded NVDL, which is 2 times leverage of NVDA. So essentially a 1 minute opening range break up. So very beautiful squeeze above the VWAP, even though this one was gapping down significantly, but at the open showed a very nice breakout pattern. We partialed, and then I added more on the pullback, all the way up to 34, and the last piece I got out at the break even. So if Carlos can show what we did, that would be interesting. So this is what we did, and
yeah, Tesla's been. I traded Tesla. Was a real chop fest. So got a nice little drop at the open and then a pop. But then, it's just turned into a dog's breakfast here. Seems to be holding this yesterday's low, 274.50 ish area.
Any question, guys? Any question about anything in general about life?
Feels like SPY does want to break out here.
What's the best strategy for playing the chop? Not playing is obviously is the best thing that you can do. Mike, when there is no setup, just don't do it. Like, don't create setup for yourself in your head. Like, for example, I was really watching Tesla, and it looks like really choppy. If you look at the 5 minute candlestick, it's just nightmare. There's no pattern, so I don't want to trade it. Like, don't create pattern. That's why trade book is important. That's why we want everybody to have trade book, to forward test their trade book. In the that's what boot camp is about. You're exposed to a bunch of trading style and senior traders, and then you create your trade book, or traders check your trade book, and then you forward test your trade book for 3 months. It's very difficult to back test this our style of trading, so forward testing is the best. um So Joe is asking how to deal with so many tickers just doing the same as Qs or SPY. Why not just play the index? You can play the index. Index trading is pretty good. Like especially 0 day to expiry options of SPY and
Yeah.
Qs are pretty awesome. You can trade them. The problem is sometimes you get much better move on individual tickers. Like before pandemic, I personally was looking for stocks in play every single day. Then after pandemic, the volatility came to the overall market. And it's not surprising because just at $7 trillion extra money printed, is all money liquidity went into the market as a whole. And then we started trading pretty much at certain group of stocks for certain period of time. Like Tesla has been always in our watch list, Nvidia and everything. And then when you get into the bear market or volatile times, it's just best to focus on usual suspects. But when you go to the bull market and indexes trade various small go up, then you can actually look for stocks in play. Right now we are in kind of a volatile environment. Like let's go to SPY. This is not really a bear market yet, but just in the last couple of weeks have been extremely volatile. So you can trade indexes and stocks, that usual suspects. But when you go into the bull market, let's say for example from 2019, like look at this one for example, like back in 2020, 2023, we had a very nice grind up, and then you see the daily volatility of the indexes were not a lot. But Tesla, Nvidia, stocks in play comes into.
I'm long the market right now. Long SPY. It's breaking out here. So we are getting up into an area where we'll probably see some selling. Tesla's back, sort of breaking out here, back at high of day.
So the question is, how do you know the pullback or reversal? Usually the pullbacks, depends on the technical level that you have. Like for example, when you are doing in an uptrend of Nvidia, or let's go AMD for example. So when AMD is going up, look at my screen. So the AMD, when the AMD is going up, had a very strong move going up. The question is if this one is a reversal or this one is a pullback. So usually pullbacks, you can have a certain indicator that say, okay, for example, it's either pullback to the 9 moving average or 20 moving average. And if it breaks down, then your technical level that your pullback was based around is broken, then it becomes a reversal. There's really no way for you to know if it's the V reversal or if it's just a pullback and goes back up unless it happens. That's why the risk management comes into the play. One thing that you can do is, for example, looking at the longer time frame. Sometimes the pullbacks and reversals on the longer time frame. Like Ayman has a course, trading on the multiple, time frame. Then he talks about sometimes, looking at the 15-minute or, hourly chart. Sometimes can tell you, are you, doing a reversal or a pullback. A lot of time, for example, when you make a new 15-minute low, that's a sign of reversal. But as long as you are within the previous 15-minute candlestick, that could be considered a pullback. It really depends on the strategy, and really depends how you manage the position or manage your trade or manage your trade book based on that. So it's a very general question, like how do you know it's a reversal or pullback? It's like who check chicken or egg, like type of question. You can't answer something.
Yeah, you don't really know until it plays out. But the important thing is if you're going to play it as a pullback, you have to know where you're going to stop out if the market proves you're wrong. That's kind of the more important point of playing maybe a pullback. And also, if you if you have some experience, I mean, you can you can kind of read the price action on a pullback. And a pullback, you have options as to where you enter and exit too. I mean, if you want to play a pullback, if you want to play it conservatively, if it's a stock's going up and it pulls back conservatively, you could play it when it starts to break to a new high. And then that's a confirmation that that it was a pullback. But again, that's like you're entering late, so your entry isn't as good. So you have to move your stop up as well.
Yep. Today was really a disgusting day. However, we got a couple of really good moves on AMD and Nvidia. And even Tesla, the open gave us a quick short 1 minute open range breakup. And the day can be super choppy or less volatile, but you can get one or really good trade. Even Bull did a very nice move. John did a very nice trade, I think from 43. I don't know if he's still in there or not, to 53. So again, an ugly day for someone can be an amazing day for someone else. And, as you see, I just did one trade and after that, I'm really ranting. And that's totally okay. Sorry.
So I'm going to get stopped out of the rest on this buy because I feel like this breakout was, well, it's certainly retesting where it broke out from, which is a pretty common pattern. You get a breakout and then you get a retest of the breakout area. But I just feel like this day is kind of, it sort of lacks direction, strong direction one way or another. It's just kind of choppy. We do have Powell talking at 1:30. He's going to be talking to some Chicago business group, I think, about the state of the U.S. economy. So I don't know. There'll probably be some volatility around that at 1:30.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I think I'm gonna, head off. I just want to remind everybody, guys, make sure that consider joining the boot camp if you really want to, get into really consistent trading. There's so many testimonials from the previous people, and I, try to send the result of a survey to our members. And also remember that the pictures of our summit and TEDx are out. So, feel free to share, find yourself, and do that. And guys, let's do the draw tomorrow. Last day for Good Friday. Let's do. So, here's guys.
All right. Thanks for all the likes and thumbs up. Appreciate that.
All right, guys, we're going to disconnect from chat, and then Lenny is joining us here. Lenny, so we'll do a quick audio check. Make sure we can hear you.
Is Lenny coming on here? Or?
Yeah,
Hey,
Lenny's
Carlos.
joining us. Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, loud and clear, man.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good. Got your video. Your camera seems frozen.
Turning on my video right now. So we're gonna start now or like at 11 a.m. Already now. For me, both fine.
Yeah, now we could do it now since Andrew left a little bit early. It's the right thing to do, man. You make your moves and go before you get tempted to trade again. Brian, how did you do today? Is Brian still with us?
Yeah, it was not a great day. I mean, for me, I mean, I traded Tesla a few times. So, you know, I probably would have been better trading Nvidia, but that's our AMD had much better moves.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just the way things go. Sometimes you just took your horse to the wrong cart.
Yeah.
So
that's the name of the
could have
game.
been better.
Yeah. Like for me, last week was rough at the start, and then this week has been amazing. So it's just you never know. You never know how.
You never know. There goes Nvidia's dropping. It's going to come back down to this pre-market level right now, sort of 104 and change. SPY is kind of hanging in there. So Q's is kind of hanging in there too. Again, I'd be watching for some volatility. We may be getting some volatility here as we get closer to when Powell speaks or when he starts speaking anyway. Lenny, how was your day?
Yeah, it was a good day. A good day. I traded also the semiconductors, of course. They seem to be the one in play. Actually, like I had all of them on my watch list. You can see the market view here. Of course, I think Nvidia, AMD, MU, they seem to be the best. The MU was already interesting, right? Because MU did not get directly targeted with the tariff. Oh, sorry, with the issues for the chip, right? So these
Restrictions.
companies, Nvidia, AMD, they need to be licensed now before they sell the AI chips, but MU did not, but it gapped down very much. And the late P mark was already being strong. So I also had MU on my watch list. But we'll discuss that in a bit more. Or I could also continue now already. Yeah, so basically I had Nvidia, AMD, MU on the watch list for the semiconductors. Traded AMD. I think I have a very nice ABCD setup. Took some profit, and then I got out the break even. I think the issue was it looked very strong. It was very strong, but at a certain point, yeah, simply the SPY kept on selling off. If you look at the SPY now, you can see my screen, right? You see the SPY really dumped from 938 all the way to 10, basically 20 minutes selling off. And so even though AMD remained very strong, it just couldn't held up, and I got out of the break even. But I think it was a very beautiful, beautiful move up in AMD. Look at the third candle, bigger than the second candle. Small pullback, low volume. Next candle coming up, retesting the high of the range and holding and moving up again. So you guys still here?
No, we're here.
Okay,
we're
that's
here.
good. Okay, yeah. So I'll be standing in for Paris.
Yes,
for 1
good
week.
buddy Paris taking some good, well-deserved vacation. So hopefully he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, travel is always good, right? Not always,
Yeah.
but usually most of the time it's very good. Traveling can be amazing. All these new impressions. All right. So basically what I traded today, AMD, nice ABCD setup. I traded also MU. I think MU looked even better than AMD. Right. You see already like in the late pre-market, it squeezed up while AMD remained weak and also Nvidia remained weak. Okay. And I thought, okay, MU gapped down hard, but they had no exposure to these Nvidia issues. To this certification issues. So they now need certification to sell some AI chips to China. Nvidia, AMD got direct hit, but MU did not, but it sold up very hard. We saw this late pre-market squeeze. And then the candles actually showed a lot of strength, right? Look at the first 3 minutes, third minute, bigger volume than the second candle, inside candle, outside candle, completely engulfing, small candle. So I entered my first position. Trend remains closing above the pre-market high volume. So I entered with a second position, got my profit, 3 partials, and then the issue happened that the market just turned off a temporary doom switch. It just sold off for 20 minutes straight, and yeah, that couldn't help and MU up either, so I got out of break even. And then we see later, actually, you see something of a trend starting again, and MU holding well, but this is just not nice trending price action, right? Just a lot of overlap moving sideways. This is not the best looking price action. So I just traded AMD and MU. Both I took profit, then it went out of break even. But I think if the market just supported a little bit SPY and Q, it could have run way, way more, because there was a lot of room left on the ATR, right? Sold off. So then if it starts again to bounce, the ATR, there's a lot of room left on the ATR. And of course, stocks in play, a lot of volume. There was the relative strength. Right, look at the strength in MU compared with the SPY. That was really doubting minute 3, 4, 5, 6. So everything looked good. It's just, if everything just keeps on pressuring to the short side, then in the end.
Yeah, I took a quick short on Nvidia right here while you were talking, kind of see how it was breaking down. And there's some very large orders here at 104. So
Interesting position of Nvidia, right? Broke below the opening range, even below the now at the pre-market low. Interesting. Also, like the increasing volume on
I'm
the way
already
down.
out of it.
Go
All
ahead.
right, I'm going to grab some breakfast. So I hope everyone had a okay morning. Like I said, if you traded the right stocks, you did well. So we'll catch everyone later. See you, Lenny.
Yeah, awesome, Brian. See you around.
All right, guys, we're going to disconnect here in chat room. Thor will be on next at 11, and then we'll continue over on YouTube with Lenny.
All right. So great being here with all of you. So for the next, I think 7 days or 9 days, I'll be here instead of Paris. Ask me to cover for Paris because Paris is doing some traveling, right? Traveling is really, really amazing. Traveling can really change up things for ourselves, right? Like I think it's always interesting. Like when you're traveling, you see how yourself are responding to the new environment, right? So you get like your own feedback, how you respond to the environment, and I think that's very, very interesting. And also all these new impressions could calm us down from our usual reality. So what did you guys trade today? I'll be checking the comments as well on my phone. So yeah, no, I think it was a very interesting trading day today. Here on my screen to the left side, you see like a big list of stocks, big market list. I won't trade all of them because I think for trading you really need to have like the high liquidity stocks, a lot of volume, and many of them only exceptional will trade very well, but some basically always will trade bad or basically never they will trade well. And here you see this market view. Here you see like my main list. On top you see the SPY QWM, always checking at the market. Then there's the big tech names plus AMD and MU. And here below you can find my watch list for the day. And all the way down you find the earnings of today. And yeah, there were definitely also some interesting earnings, right? Interactive Brokers, they reported earnings and actually sold off. This is one of these stocks that are usually not good to trade. Actually, I've never seen it ever trade well. So I was not considering it, just had like on a watch list of earnings. And I think that's also the reason why Hood was in play this morning, right? Both brokers. Yeah, Interactive Broker, I think they'd report a little bit disappointed, but I'm not really studying the earnings. I just read the highlights in a small article. UAL actually was more interesting. Actually, it was very interesting, UL. So they reported earnings. So as said already yesterday, I believe what I read, the highlights, they reported like basically two versions, right? For the forecast. One more positive scenario and one more negative scenario, right? Based on uncertainty, simply they don't know what to expect. So well, then the earnings release came. I don't think this is nice price actually to trade in the post market. Like the volume was not that high. Actually on the 2-minute chart. Man. And then we had, of course, UL on the watches. I also didn't find it looking strong actually, right? We had the gap up, and what did we see in the post market and pre-market? I already saw like 3 times dumping happening. If you look at the post market, you see, if you take like the price action, I'm sharing my screen. You see like at 5 p.m. market time, you see already big dumping happening. If it's really strong, it's not dumping that in my experience. Then 10:30, again dumping, so second time. Then today in the pre-market at 8 a.m., again dumping, right? So I thought, okay. And then it was trading below the VWAP. So I thought, okay, it doesn't look really great. But then unfortunately, right before the market opened, it crashed already. So at that point, it was a bit too extended. And I would not consider it for a short anymore, unless it would set up really perfect with a lot of volume. But that didn't happen. Then it sold off, and very interesting. And this is like for the level traders, right? It came down to a previous day close. It came to the high of the range, and then we know some level traders are eager to look for a bounce. It's not my style of trading. I'm a really momentum trader, right? I trade if the market opens, I see strength. I join in for a move up. The price is really weak. I join in for a move down. But really the reversal trading, not really my thing. So I was a bit skeptical when one of my mentees actually took the reversal here. But it worked out. It reversed very greatly. Actually, like you can call this a V-shaped reversal. Really aggressive selling, and then like just pop, pop, or a button got clicked in and everything just turned around, right? You see the candles changing in character. I mean, it's not a beautiful trend, of course, right? You see a lot of overlap, but simply like you see like very aggressive moves down and then stability on the way up. Somebody switched the button over there. So that was interesting. UAL earnings. I always love earnings, and earnings season is about to start. It's pretty exciting. So what did you guys trade? You traded, I'm looking at the comments right now. Short Apple from VWAP, one. Yeah, Apple had a very strong 1-minute candle, right? I believe also for the level traders. Also some of the moderators that had it on the watch list, I believe, because there was a level, right? Like the high of the couple high of the days. And I think that was a level that made some of the level traders interested in trading it. And then the market opens like a big squeeze candle. And then it also dropped with the market. You short from the VWAP, right? I made it so when it fell below, rejected here around minute 7. Nice rejecting pattern actually, right? Low volume on the way up. Let me zoom in a little bit because it's my assumption that you shorted there. 1. So see like the sell-off, rejection, low volume, selling off again. So somebody else traded SPY, also Apple, MU shorted Nvidia twice. Somebody else short Apple. There's a lot of Apple traders today. I traded Apple 4 days in a row. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and also last Monday. It was really beautiful in play. Got hit double by the tariffs, right? They got like a lot of exposure to the Chinese market, which led to uncertainty there. And also, of course, they are very reliant on US importing in US. So they will also be hit by the tariffs there. And then they had Friday, had like the catalyst where already Trump hinted on that there are going to be some major companies getting exemption on the tariffs. So that was Friday. And actually then Saturday, the tariff exemptions came. So it was also double in play on Monday. And I think that's the best, right, for momentum traders to have a lot of volume. Today, I don't know, I didn't find it really interesting. Actually, like Monday, you saw like how it sold off. I shorted it after the open Monday. Sold off all day, also in the post market, but yesterday there was almost no volatility. And today it was at the level, squeezed up, sold off. But that's the thing with trading, right? Everybody sees something different in it, and that's very interesting and also the right way, right? In trading, you want to find your own style. Also, I did yesterday's webinar. What was really important, what I asked them, like, do you actually know what you're looking for, right? Do you know how your perfect setup looks like? Do you really have it clear? I think that's like a fundament for trading, that you know how your setup looks like, and then you just wait for it, right? And meanwhile, you're getting better, and you try to find more variations of the setup that you like. And then meanwhile, you're studying, you're improving, and you find other setups, right? But the first question I think you should ask yourself, do you really know what you look for, right? I know how my perfect 1 minute ORB look like. I know how my perfect 2 minute ORB look like. I know like a lot of variations how my 5 minute ORB look like. I'm just waiting for it. And meanwhile, I'm trying to find other setups. And also like candle combinations even, right? Like what are the strong candle combinations you want to see? For example, what is very nice if you're a momentum trader, for example, price action opens, strong candle, second candle stronger than the first candle, inside candle, breakout. Now these are like just combination of candles, which are very, very powerful. So that gives a structure to approach it. So what else? So somebody trading 0 DTE SPY options should also look into it. Hi, Eric. Yes, I see your comment. You're saying, thanks, Lenny, for showing the order flow movement, how it works in the candle. I got into UL too late short, so I switched it. Yeah, we discussed it yesterday in the webinar, right? It's like we discussed really extensively, right? You have like a 1 minute candle, but actually it's about like how the price actually moves within that candle, right? Is it like just moving up and down, up and down, up and down, or is it just smoothly moving up, pull back, smoothly moving up, getting bought up again? That makes a huge difference. And that's also, of course, the difference between algorithm traders and the big institutions and the market makers compared with us, because they can even like each second they can divide into 1,000 milliseconds, and they can like even see the patterns per millisecond, right? Because they're computers and they can also position accordingly. So that's their advantage. But we have to do it with our limited human processing capabilities by reading price action, and of course reading the price action within the candles. In other words, looking at the order flow and the price marker. So yeah, we can go to the other stocks that I had on my watch list today. So somebody post, I'm scalping DJE multiple times on 1 minute candle. DJI. Let me check DJI. You mean DJT? Perhaps. I hope not. This is very ugly price action. A lot of overlap. Gaps between the candles. Not the best. Oh, Dow Jones, sorry. Dow Jones, okay, so you trade the market. Dow Jones index. And that's nice. So how did it work out for you? Yeah, what else on my watch list? So I'd like Nvidia, as discussed, right? Nvidia and AMD, they got very directly hit by the new rules where they have to apply for a license before they can sell specific AI chips to China. It also hit it AMD directly. I think AMD, like the 10 minutes for the market open, actually where you see the spike. Actually, the CEO of AMD announced that indeed, actually she confirmed that it was applicable on AMD and that it was about 800 million of revenue for AMD. So Nvidia and AMD, they got hit directly by this news, and that's could of course be a great catalyst. And I had also MU, also gapping down a little bit, surprised by it, right? Because they don't have really direct exposure to it. But perhaps it could be fear of retaliation. But then MU, you saw the late pre-market squeeze already. And then just beautiful price action. Right, strong candles up. High volume, inside candle, outside candle. Smooth 1 minute candles up. I was really happy. I was really happy also that I took 2 positions in it. Right, I bought this one after the confirmation of a red to green move. This candle I bought at the close, also when it held above the pre-market high. Maybe should have added here as well, but it would maybe pushing it a little bit. Also because then you would be almost at the second measured move already. And I felt it could move up way, way more. But market, they pushed the button in the market. Everything just went down. Even though it's strong, it influenced these stocks as well. Nice. I see your response now. SM Media, 95% win rate, super volatile. That's good. Do you also have like a sample over a longer amount of time, or is it just 95% win rate over today, or do you have it also? Do you have forward tested or back tested it over a very long amount of time? Because I think in trading, it's really important to not be messed up with a few days of results. It's really about robust sample size over long amounts of time. So Hood testing overnight low. Let's check it out. Actually, I had Hood also on my watch list, not on my not on my A list, not on my B list, but I had it on my watch list because of they sold off, I think, the pre-market because of the IBKR earnings, right? So then Hood opened. It's not my favorite stock. Also had no direct catalyst. So the first weekend looked actually very strong in Hood. So it moved from 41.70 to 42.90, $1.10. So enough room on the ATR. Yeah, it looks strong to move up. But then the same button that pushed everything down in the market also switched on the mini doom switch for Hood. So now testing the low. Yeah, so it's also grinding down, right? It's grinding down. SPY is actually above the VWAP. Q is also above the VWAP. So Hood is relative weak, what they call, right? Relative weak compared with the rest of the market. IBKR looks a bit different, but also weak compared to the rest of the market. But this is what I mean, right? By bad order flow. Look at the price market. It's moving down. 1 second. Moving down again. 1 second, not happening again. Another down. Okay, now it's dumping a little bit, but it's not going like smooth, like just like see like moves, half a second, nothing, move, half a second, nothing, not moving. That's not what we want to see, at least not as momentum traders. At least not what I want to see as a momentum trader. So, Lauren, I see a question. I'm not sure if are we coming up on the stream anymore, to be honest, or if he's coming. I don't know what time he's coming, if he's coming, to be honest. So I see a question, SM. I'm trading 2 weeks only, 95% win rate, turning per day with $5 from them, make a bunch of them, 500 trades per day. Okay, and how you do it? How do you do commission wise? Because 500 trades per day, that's also good commission. But well, if you make 95% win rate, it's good. Somebody else writes, man, I'm glad I kept away from Tesla today. Yes, same here. I also did not trade Tesla today. I had it on my watch list. Tesla always interesting. If there was any entry, I think it would have been like at the squeeze, right, of the second candle. You see like the first candle opening weak, and then the second candle really squeezing. But if it went so fast, perhaps you could have entered here for a move up. But then you also see like this gap, right, between the minute 2 and minute 3. You see like a gap between it. That's not nice. It means like a lack of liquidity. And that's not a good sign, right? Because also like if the order flow is really amazing, there shouldn't be a lack of liquidity. Because good order flow per definition means that like for every buyer there's a seller, like, or like at least like it's like really close to each other. And if you see the gap, it's not a good sign. And then also you see the big rejection, big pullback. So then for me it was already over, no more Tesla. And it was moving sideways. This is really a piece of garbage today. Also on the daily chart, right? You see it really moving in a range, low volatile. Yesterday inside candle, just very tight range. Tight range are nice, right? If it's really breaking out of it with a big catalyst. It's a volume. Yeah, exactly. Jillian, I see also your comment. Tesla was indeed super choppy, whippy. Not the best. So is there a specific price action that you'd like to discuss? Also had Lyft on my watch list. News came out. It looked a little bit different in the pre-market. I mean, it didn't look great, but it looked different, right? Everything was selling up, but actually Lyft was at least moving up sideways. There was some news that they invested in a European company and that they want to enter the European market. And, perhaps could give a catalyst, but then the market opens. I saw this chop and I thought, like, no, not gonna be for me. Not trading it. Then Google also did its own thing. I also had Google on my watch. They seemed to be a little bit more weak than the rest in the pre-market, and they also had like perhaps a catalyst, like a 5 billion potential fine from United Kingdom for monopoly position. Not sure it's really new news for today, but I thought, okay, I can put it on my watch list. The market opened, wiki candle, first candle, fourth candle, also a gap between the 3rd-minute close and the 4th-minute open, just a gap. Never mind it. Google is usually also not a good trading stock. But if you see this warning signals, red flag, and of course, the stock that we traded were very pretty enough, had the order flow, had the strength, had the relative strength, had the volume, had the catalyst, basically everything. Beautiful price action, MU, right? It looks strong. Also, like actually this late pre-market squeeze, big candle, inside candle, inside candle. Then a big squeeze candle again, second candle coming down, retesting, coming up again. Third candle, big volume, closing at the high. Inside candle, outside candle, or engulfing candle, low volume, decreasing volume, moving up against increasing volume. Really, really pretty. So I see the questions from Sander. Do you have any preferred reversal pattern? I don't trade reversals, to be honest. A long time ago, I tried it for some time, but it's not my style, I'm also a trader. There are multiple reasons actually why it's not my style. First of all, I think also reverse are like longer on the day, but I'm not a guy to have like focus all day. I'm really a trader. I take 30 minutes, trade the market open, 30 minutes of intensive price action reading, and then I quit. It's like you really contain it. What also helps you with being able to peak your focus. It also gives you like a clear endpoint, clear starting point. You can really develop everything around it. And what I like about my style of trading, why I develop it like this, is really specific, right? It's like candle for candle for candle for candle reading. Instead of reversals, it's like, okay, there's like a level, okay, and then we're gonna trade against it. And it's more speculative, right? It's more like hoping that it will respond to it. I mean, it's perfectly valid, but it's not really my style. not really my style of trading. And I tried it in the past, but then I was putting these levels and I was waiting, and then the price actually comes at the level, and then I'm hoping, okay, let's turn around, let's show me what I want me to see, and then I can take a trade. And just for me personal, not really working. I like momentum trading, opening range break trading. Like you can prepare very well, right? You got like all the time in the pre-market to prepare. Just prepare. See what's trading different. Where's the volume? Where's the catalyst? You can prepare. Well, market opens. 30 minutes price action reading, and then you just read. You read and you compare it with the relative market strength. You look at the order flow. Look at the volume, and then after 30 minutes, it's done. So the other question: does the tariffs affect Tesla? Yes, I think Tesla. I think basically most companies getting affected by tariffs. I think Tesla is a little bit of again, as most stories, a little bit unique, right? Because Tesla also manufacturing locally. But at the same time, there's also news coming out yesterday that some parts of the cyber taxi, they were getting tariffed in the United States. It was like bad news again for Tesla. It's often also very complicated, right? Because you work with these supply chains, and supply chains are different countries, and these tariffs they can change. But I'm sure, like one way or the other way, they also got indeed hit by the tariffs. To answer your question, Taz. Yeah, Jillian. Yeah, that's indeed another question. Who said, do you trade? Oh, I trade only the open. I take my first 30 minutes, right? Really containing it. I'll just for 30 minutes of hyper focus. That's it. Sometimes I trade like a little bit after. For example, like Apple last Monday. I took it like 7 minutes past 10. Not sure if we can see it because it was just the double catalyst. Okay, I can scroll back on my chart. That is double catalyst, right? Okay, I cannot see it on the 2-minute chart. I cannot scroll back, but on the 5-minute chart, I can scroll back. So 2 days ago, Monday, it really showed weakness. Of course, had a double catalyst, had a huge gap up. Apple is already like some concerns in the market about Apple. A strong gap up, so I already thought like it could sell off. Also in the late pre-market, some volatility came in, selling off. Actually, you see still my lines here where I traded it, right? Because you see like, I scroll in. So this was 2 days ago. So like I cannot show you the 1 or 2-minute chart, but you saw like an aggressive sell-off. And here you see like the price contraction. You saw a couple of engulfings on the 1-minute, 2-minute chart, showing that the price action was really selling off. Meanwhile, the SPY and Q were like moving up in the VWAP, but Apple on high volume kept on selling off. So I stayed a little bit in it. And then more or less at 10:06, 10:07, I took it somewhere here. I took it short for the way down. Right, very, very nice trading. Double catalyst. Big gap up already in a perceived weak stock. Late pre-market volatility, right? If the trend price is trending and there's like a lot of volatility coming in, could be a sign of reversal. Market opened, a lot of weakness. Further relative weakness, engulfing. A lot of room on the ATR left. Pretty nice. So if you have 10 minutes, after 30 minutes, you have a trade continuing, would you let it run throughout the day? Yes, so definitely I would just put my stop range order. I had it yesterday with PLTR. I traded PLTR yesterday long. And I also, because doesn't she also see on the daily chart that PLTR showed closed yesterday very strong. Cannot show you the 1-minute chart on PLTR yesterday because DAS doesn't provide that data. But I can show you the 2-minute chart. PLTR showed a lot of strength yesterday. And actually, it gave a very nice 5-minute ORB. And I wish I could show you. If you look at my Twitter, if you go to my Twitter, Trading W Lenny, you can see an extensive breakdown with the full analysis why I took this PLTR trade. and you can really see like 5 very strong candles. And so I took it long here for the 5-minute opening range breakout, and I also kept the position to run all day. Also because I think like in these market circumstances, there's extreme volatility, right? Extreme volatility. So adjustment I made in this extreme volatility market days, it's actually letting a bit of my position run longer, because there are gonna be these anomalies where it just makes huge moves. And if you're still a little bit from a position, you can try to benefit from this anomaly of high volatility. So actually PLTR, I let it run all day yesterday, and it also closed very strong yesterday. It moved up all day. And that's also like one of the things about opening range break trading, that you are looking the first candles to see if you find like extreme elevated strength or weakness compared with the rest, and then the expectation that it will move for the rest of the day, right? And usually you try to scalp more the moves, but like occasionally it can also keep on trending. That's what happened in PLTR yesterday. So any news now, market? We can check it. Is the market moving? Well, it's all the time headlines, right? Oh yes, this is market moving. Is there market news? Then let me check. Let me just check a little bit on X or Twitter to find if there's news. So 2 minutes ago, some news came out. US Atlanta Fed GDP now minus 2.2%, previous minus 2.4%. I'm not sure if it's relevant. 5 minutes ago, Fitch says has cut world growth forecast for 2025 by 0.4 percentage points. Okay, I'm not sure if that's really new. I don't see really specific news right now. Fitch, 26 minutes ago, still expects Federal Reserve to wait until Q4 2025 before cutting rates, despite deteriorating US growth outlook. So the Fitch expect some patience before rate cuts. I'm not also sure if that's the market news. So I don't really know if there's any news, but it's definitely a squeeze. It's definitely a squeeze. Well, it's always nice for our long-term portfolios, right? It's a little bit of a squeeze up. Hopefully could be the start of the next bull market, right? Every little squeeze could give some hope on the start of a new bull market. But of course, very little bit of hope. Extremely little bit of hope. But you see MU that he traded, we already saw like the signs of strength in the pre-market, late pre-market, in the opening range, and then you see like it's also now grinding up. You see like MU trading above the opening range, Nvidia still below it. AMD also trading below the high of the previous day, sorry, the previous high of the day. But MU actually trading above it. PLTR also trading far below the high of the day. Tesla actually breaking above it right now. Yeah, I would like to know if there's any market news. Google really doing its own thing a little bit today, right? You see Google has been stronger than the rest. Also, it's like all the big tech names actually together with Amazon, they're the least weakest. Google minus 0.5%, Amazon minus 0.5% as well. You know which one from the semiconductors actually was the strongest? So I had multiple semiconductors here on my watch as well. At ARM, SMCI. I had Marvel, TSM, Intel, and of course I knew I wouldn't be able to follow all of them during the market open, but perhaps something would happen. And you see that SMCI actually was the strongest. SMCI showed something like a 5-minute ORB, or you could call it just choppy price action after minute 2. Also, I would be very careful with trading SMCI. I would not have taken it, but you saw like opening range, bottoming, breaking out. If you put your stop loss below this range, below the pullback, it would never ever have stopped you out today. And then it moved way stronger than everything else today. But for me, this would not be a trade, even if I would have seen it. So Lyft actually also now trading above the opening range. See, so Lyft had that news that they're gonna approach the European market. So I'm from Europe, I'm from the Netherlands. And actually I haven't been living in the Netherlands for some years now actually, but can't remember to see Lyft in Europe, but I could be wrong on that aspect. So somebody asked, what was my X profile? It's trading W Lenny. So trading with Lenny, but then trading W Lenny. The SPY at year-to-date low. I'm not sure. SPY is not a year-to-date low, right? No. You see the year-to-date low is here. It's way below. I hope we bottom now already. The bottom year-to-date was April 7. So yeah, let's see what will happen. The market is waiting for, of course, more news, more stability, potential tariff deals, and of course, economic data that's coming out. That's the thing about complex systems like the economy. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what's gonna happen. Everybody can say something. In the end, one will be right. But the question is it more coincidence or was he really right? Did he really knew it? The average also notes that the UAL with their earnings reported different scenarios for the outcome, and perhaps it could be a trend this earnings season. Companies gonna report more. Where companies gonna report more scenarios, various scenarios. I think that could also be interesting, right? Also in real life, you want to predict something, not think too much like in discretionary things, right? Like or yes or no, black or white, or this or that. I think it could be good, like perhaps to have different scenarios and assign probabilities to it. I think that could also help real life decision making become a little bit more accurate. Because that black and white thinking, I'm not sure about it, right? Also yesterday, it was very interesting about that black and white thing. Yesterday in the webinar, so my webinar yesterday was about ABCD trading, ABCD setup trading, and somebody said, yeah, the rule is that so ABCD setup means move up, pull back, another move up, right? And then you try to catch a second move up. Somebody said like, yeah, the rule is like, somebody said that the rule is if it's moving more than 50% of the pullback, so if the pullback is 50% of the first move up, then you should not take it, right? But I think that's like so black and white. I think it's more basically like deeper the pullback, just the weaker it is, right? Because if it would be really strong, it would hold better. Simply the weaker it gets, the deeper the pullback, the weaker it gets. So basically like in theory, cent, it goes down further, it's just weaker, right? That's why you don't really see it like as discretionary, but you get a more fluid, more dynamic assessment process. And I think that's very helpful. Something complex like price action reading. So Tesla is actually breaking out, increasing volume, right? Strong candle increasing out. I would not trade it because it's really no clue, no experience with it trading so late on the day. But you already see like the strong move up, increasing volume, increasing size of the candle, pull back, a little bit steep, but you see low volume, moving up, high volume again. So you start to wonder if there was a catalyst indeed. So somebody asked, regardless of whether you win or lose within the first 30 minutes, at the market you stop trading for there? Yes, definitely. Especially if I lose, I should stop within 30 minutes, right? Because that could mess up the win rate. But I think winning or losing should be independent if you continue or not, in theory. But like, yeah, just I think the 30 minutes, you trade the morning volatility, you trade momentum. I think the best first 30 minutes is simply the best. It also gives about structure, right? I think if you do every day the same, it also things in life, right? If you give structure to things, if you make routines, you get more mental space free to process further information, right? So if you just know this and this and this, I do every day my pre-market routines, also every day the same, right? I'm looking at what is the news, what is the catalyst, what is the big tech, what is the big market, the spying Qs doing, what doing the big tech names doing, right? Every day the same. Also doing it together with my mentees, so they also learn from it, right? Every day you do the same thing, you contain it, then you get the mental space, because at a certain point you don't think about it anymore. It's the same like you're walking, you don't think about your walking anymore, but now you can walk, you can do other things at the same time. So if you structure things, you contain things, then you get more mental space free to actually do what you have to do, read the price action. So I was about to say something, I'm not sure. I was about to check if there's there's going to be if there's any news that came out that caused this spike up. So can't find anything on my Twitter feed. Perhaps somebody said something, perhaps it could be coming out later, right? Cannot see everything at the right moment. So yeah, this is definitely no volatility, right? Just moving sideways, everything. It's like, in my opinion, somebody who trades directly after the open, the momentum, this is like, looking at grass to see how it grows, or looking at paint, how it dries, or looking at the turtle, how it walks. Very slow, right? But look at the difference with MU. Look at this volatility. Market opens. Bam, closing at the high, increasing volume, inside candle, outside candle, inside candle, closing at the high volume. Yes, this was higher volume. And then you can also expect like another move. And actually more or less also like the measured move got made, right? You see like the length of the first move also got made exactly in the second move. So perhaps I could have taken another partial, but I was thinking it could be way more strong after such strong price action after the market open. I think perhaps it could have run way further. So what is UAL doing? Well, a reversal, right? From the previous day range. So the question, Kuldeep, how long did it take you to become consistently profitable after starting day trading? It's of course hard to say, right? What is consistently? What is really consistency? Then you first need to define what is being consistently, right? But I think my first being consistent was like after 8 months. 8 months is sim trading. Then I did the P Capital Trading Bootcamp, and then I crashed it. It was December 2020, so a long time ago there. So it started in October 2020, the first P Capital Bootcamp. That was my first 4-month winning streak. Really interesting period. It was the time where Biden got elected. That was during the peak of the boot camp, and everything went up. Mark was afraid if Biden gonna get elected, everything gonna go down. But Mark got elected, and everything just moved up and up and up and up. It was also because of the COVID crisis, and we had these stocks, like these green stocks, green energy stocks, like Plug. Wow. Look at it, Plug. It's now worth less than $1. Look at these were the stocks that were in play back then. Look at here, like in end of 2020. Look, woof, it all the way went to 75. Now they're trading at $1, less than $1. It was Plug. What were the other ones? F-Cell. It's also another one. Also trading now below $5. And the weekly chart, right? End of 2020 was okay. Now, of course, there was some stock chasement, but like you see, like how much it's up. It was also Neo. They were all going to go to the moon. I remember back then there was also like a guy that just a friend, good friend, is not familiar or anything with the stock market. Said like, yeah, you should just buy Neo. It's just gonna go up in the future. It was like in a period when everything went up. Then you see like how it get crushed afterwards. So that was when I first got my first consistency. End of 2020. So, Jerry, a question: will my webinar recording be available after? Yes, it is recorded and it should be available. It will be uploaded soon. So your question is, Hussein, can you share some guidance about journaling and review trades? Do you review them on a daily, weekly basis? Well, that's again, right? Discretionary question. You ask for discretionary answer. Do you review them or daily or weekly basis? It's the thing with trading is, if you really want to make the difference, you should find a way that works for you and probably as good as possible, right? Like I can share like how I do it. Of course, every trade should be journaled. For me, it's a little bit different, right? Because every trade that I make, I have to explain anyway, like 5, 6, 7 times to a lot of people. So I journal it all the time, subconsciously. But like every trade should be journaled. Every trade should be registered, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to build a database of trades in order that you will be able to recognize your setup that you're looking for and multiple of your setups, right? So you want to basically build a database of all your trades that you take to learn from it. But also by making this physical database on your computer, you're also creating it actually in your intuition, in your mind, right? And that's the second real goal of journaling, that you all the time like saving everything that you see, that you do, and that hopefully one day when you're trading that you feel, hey, this looks actually super strong, that you don't even know why it is, but hey, this looks super strong or this looks super weak. And then it's because your subconscious built intuition based on the experience it has. And then you can take that feeling, you can take it out of your subconscious. Then you think, hey, why do I feel it looks strong? Why do I feel it looks weak? And then you can deduct rules from what you see in the price action, and you could try to perhaps build like another setup from you around it, right? And that's like how I found my setups as well. You just look at price action, you think, hey, this looks super strong, that's also like, I think, in my opinion, like why it's important to work with trade books, and like how trade books are also like the start of your development, right? So you build like a trade book, and then you want to execute your trade book with all kind of hard rules. You trade your trade book, and then you look at the price thing. This looks so strong, and then you think, but I cannot take it because of my trade book. But you think it looks so strong, and then it just makes the move, and then you think, what? Like, why did it make us look so strong? And then you try to build a trade book around what you see, right? Or like you build your trade book, you think, okay, I have to take this trade, but actually I don't think it's gonna work. But you still take it because your trade book says it, and then you gotta think like, why does it look weak, right? And then you can make like a variation. So your question, like, how often do you journal? It's not about like how often you do it. It's more about like, are you able to find the process for yourself that enables you to build that intuition and build your database. Yeah, so Son, how many trades did you take per day on average when you began? I never traded too much trades, to be honest. I've always been like an ORB, ABCD setup trader. I always think like maximum 4 trades, 2, 3, 4 trades. And now I think I take on average, I take 2 trades per day, between 1 and 2 trades per day, more or less. Actually, I'm not even sure. More or less 2 trades. It also depends, like what do you see like a trade, right? For example, my adding is like a complete new position. Look at my MU. Like these were 2 positions. So you could consider this 2 different trades. Consider this 2 different trades. Name these 1 trade. So the question is like, are these 2 trades or 3 trades? Because I traded 3 different positions. But they on average, I take like 2 trades per day. So your question is, what is your favorite trading book to learn from? I have many favorite trading books, to be honest. It's also the question like, what type of trading book, right? You get trading books that really delve into philosophy behind it. For example, like what is really, really influential on me and my life are the books of Nassim Taleb, right? It's like a very influential philosopher and also used to be option trader. And he's really a big thinker and he really teach me about, or at least what I got learned from it, is really like about thinking asymmetrical in asymmetrical opportunities, where it's a little bit more philosophical. So in that case, I think Nassim Taleb would be great. But there's also books that really teach about like how actually the stock exchanges and high frequency traders and how the exchanges, how they developed, right? Like from people just calling on the stock exchanges to electronic trading, how that development happened, right? And what were the issues there and how did it develop? And these are other books, for example, Flash Boys from I think Michael Lewis. It's a very interesting book. Or like what are the other book called? Dark Pools, I think from Scott Patterson. These are books like they discuss more like the development of trading in that regard. Helped me a lot as well. There's also the book about, of course, the biggest and the most successful, really the most successful, impressive hedge fund algorithm, high frequency trading. It only work with high frequency trading. It's like from Renaissance Capital, Jim Simons, by far the most successful. I think even compounding wise, also more successful than Warren Buffett. Annual return has been more than 50%. The Man Who Solved the Market, that's the book. It deals more with that aspect. It learns more about how these algorithms, how they developed and the process in that regard. And then you see like also like how impressive it is, right? Like in the early 90s, they were already putting in all the data to find correlation in the stock market. And by the early 90s, I remember that my father showed like a game computer. I was like, wow, got like you can play like a game, on a computer. Actually, my father was he liked computers more often, right? But it was never really, really so deep into it as what he did, right? Already end of 90s, or actually in the 80s already, where he like understood, hey, I need to put in all the data from the earliest data collection in the stock market in my computers, in my database to find correlations, right? To put like to apply the statistics to it. It's like another type of book, right? And then you got the more technical books, also have technical, half conceptual books. For example, like the Anna Cooling book, volume price analysis. It's a bit technical, not a bit technical, half technical, but also have more like conceptual. Very interesting. You should read it. Definitely, I highly recommend it. Read. Then there's books about extremely technical books like Al Brooks. Al Brooks, amazing trader. Genius price action reader. I got really influenced by him a lot. I never was able to finish one of his books because it's simply just the reads are just too tough, too dense. So if you take the opportunity of reading Al Brooks, don't feel bad after two pages. You think like, what in the hell am I reading? But it's extremely valuable. So basically, it's more philosophical to conceptual to technical to extreme technical. various kind of books. That answers your question, Anshita. So yeah, I took the 1 minute ORB for sure. So your question is, do I take the 1 minute ORB? Yes, I take the 1 minute ORB. Your other question, did simulation trading help you discover trading style approach? I think like it shouldn't be a question if you have to do simulation trading. I think it's just not the way to trade for real money at the beginning for the first couple of years, even perhaps first year, I think. But that's my personal opinion. I think the default, also what I shared in my webinar yesterday, I think the default for everyone, if you start trading, is just losing. Just your red line is just your P&L just going down and down for a very long time. And you don't need to do that with real money. You can learn many mistakes. You can get familiar with the price action, what's also necessary for a very long time. So if your question is, did simulation trading help you discover? Yes. I think you can learn everything with simulated trading. I think to learn trading, you don't even need to trade for real money. You need to trade for real money for your psychology, but not for learning trading. So, Jason, what do you think of PLTR short right now? So your question is, what do I think of PLTR short right now? Yeah, it's not my style. I'm like trade directly after the open. I just see like a lot of overlap in the candles. I see like now a range is getting formed, right? See some selling pressure from the top, some buying pressure from the bottom. You see a range, 60-cent range. Probably it looks a lot like the market, right? Actually, no, the SPY is actually so it's weaker than the SPY for sure, but maybe it looks like the Q also. No, actually it's weaker than the SPY and Qs. Yeah, it was trading independent today, therefore also had it on my watch list. But for me, like look at the order flow. I would never ever trade this. Of course, I would just trade like in the first 2 years where I was trading, but now I would never trade them. Look at the order flow, look how slow it goes. Like price market moving up. Nothing is happening. Still nothing is happening. Small move up again. Small move down. Small move down. Small move up. Small move up. Like this is for me not momentum, this is not like where like the bulls are like trying to break out or the sellers are trying to break down. So what do I think of PLD? It looks weak, right? You see like the opening range, a lot of overlap in the candle. We see a sell off, moving up again, selling off again, forming a range now. But what do I think will happen? I don't know. No clue. Hey, Sander, yes, I understand what you mean, but that's what you say, right? It's about psychology. It's for the psychology, it could be interesting. But at the same time, I think if you need real money to be motivated, then in my opinion, I wonder if you got enough passion for it to perhaps make it, right? Because I think like if you want to become a good trader, you really need to be passionate about it. You really need to enjoy it. And that it might be inaccurate from my side, but I think like it should already be motivating to look at the price action itself. But definitely I know your point as well. It's about the psychology. That's the difference between live trading and sim trading, right? It's not the technical aspect, it's just the psychology. That's also the issue, right? Like trading is very attractive because it lights up dopamine parts of the brain. But I'm not sure if it's the right way to be, if you're motivation fueled by these dopamine spikes. You can have like get your dopamine, like your motivation from these spikes, right? From the wins, loses. Or you can get your motivation from improving, right? Get the satisfaction from improving or get the satisfaction from finish your to-do list. So I think it's important to think about how you're actually motivating yourself. And what I try to do is, in trading, I try to get my motivation from improving, from learning. And then the trading and the winning will follow itself. Okay, so the last couple of minutes, but I'll be here tomorrow again. because they asked me to cover for Paris, who was traveling a little bit. Now, Jeremy, I definitely understand that. That's also, they're also very personal, right? And we cannot speak for all other people. So yeah, interesting open. Interesting open today. The semiconductors being in play. PLTR showing more strength than the rest yesterday, but today show more weakness. Tesla just being very choppy during the day. Extremely choppy, breaking out, again rejecting. UL earnings showing a lot of weakness in the pre-market, post-market, selling off, bouncing off a level. Here, Google, live trading more independent. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow again. Right? Also earnings season starting right now. So that's also gonna give a lot of interesting price action. And so let me check. What's it is? Earnings. So screener. Let me check. What's the earnings later today? Actually, this week is not that special yet, I believe. Tomorrow gonna be next week. I'm sorry, they're gonna be the bigger names. Today after market close, what are the great? CSX, perhaps AA, Alcoa. Okay, that's today after market close. Not the best. Usually not, for me, not enough liquidity. Even though there are always exceptions. Today before market open. Okay, I'm not sure if this is really correct. Tomorrow before market open. So tomorrow we have HBAN, Schwab, STT, TSM. I think TSM could be interesting tomorrow. Today we already had ASML. It's like the big daddy from all the semiconductor companies, right? ASML is actually the company that makes the machines to build the chips. Interesting story, right? Just from the province in the Netherlands. And they reported earnings, and the earnings were a little bit disappointing, so we gapped down. So that was also perhaps a catalyst for the tech names, for the semiconductors, besides the catalyst that we had with regard to the certification that's now necessary to sell the AMD AI chips to China. But tomorrow gonna be the earnings of TSM. Interesting. So how does the daily chart look like? A lot like the rest of the market. Looks a lot like each other. Who knows? We're gonna be trading TSM tomorrow. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna hop off. It was great being here with you, and we see each other tomorrow again. Hey guys.